When last we left our heroes, Risen had brought the Dragon General back to life. While the Dragon General stood by testing the heroes, they continued to bully Risen into telling them information about why he did this to begin with. While some party members were less willing to get the information and rather just kill him than others, the rest did their best to keep him alive until they got the answers they needed. Once the answers were had, the Dragon General took over and dragged his soul to hell, or so we assume. After that, the Dragon General told us all about how the Star Scourgeon 2.0 was upon us now that he was alive, and we were all doomed. From there, we were given the choice to either live our lives till the very end or try to stop it. And our heroes, being the heroes they are, decided that they are going to end Star Scourgeon 2.0. With that, the Dragon General gave all 6 heroes a soul weapon to bond with and flew himself into the sun at an attempt to not end the world. And all 6 heroes went through some traumatic, some soul-searching, some very strange visions to bond their soul weapons. And we start now with them awaking and taking their next steps.
Excellent, excellent. The exact point in which we left off, everyone had just seen that Sai had taken some damage from her vision, healed her slightly, and everyone began breaking off in an attempt to talk to each other and or their item, and that is where we ended. I believe, as it was, Cole and Onyx said they wanted to speak to each other, and I believe Calyx wanted to commune to some degree with his item. If either of you know what you want to say, we can pick an order, or if you guys want to think about the wording a little more, we can talk to somebody else. How do you guys want to do it?
I'm definitely gonna wait a little bit on it after like everything that happened and like thinking back on it. Like I just was threatened by what I'm gonna call as a space dinosaur. So I'm going to just take a minute and kind of think on the orb, but not really say or try and communicate with it.
Understandable, understandable. Space dinosaur. All these cool visions, and only one of you even asked their name. And the one, the one who asked the one that didn't have a name.
Yeah, okay.
You see, there's the thing. I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, I really want to ask him, like, his name and everything, but I'm so tired. I was like, okay, please.
Does that mean I get to name mine?
Who knows?
Either way, I choose to commune with my my object at a later point.
Then whenever you
with
wish
a little bit more downtime.
Then whenever you wish to do so, just let me know when that is, and I will have that ready. In that case, Cole and Onyx, we left off. Onyx, you said you wanted to talk to Cole about the details of both of your visions. Feel free to do that now.
Yeah, we're just stepping away to make sure we're private, where no one can hear us.
Okay, I'll move your tokens. Let's call it 40 feet away. There you go. Oops, I made it too big. There we go. We'll say that's further enough that you are quote-unquote out of earshot.
Okay.
What'd you get, man?
So, I went to hell again.
Oh, fuck.
I made a deal. Again.
Okay.
So, at some point, I may need some help. Because it kind of sounds like I'm going to have to do some type of hit list type stuff now.
What the hell are you roping me into?
And stop.
But I got an awesome sword.
Okay. So, here's what happens. Onyx. You watch as Cole, and to a further extent, the people further away from you in the room, everyone stops moving. And then you watch all the color slowly drain out of everything around you until it all goes retrograde into like a grayscale drag. You yourself also have this color. More concerning is the fact that you can no longer move. Not your eyes, not your mouth, nothing. You watch as, conveniently, in your vision, the hilt of your sword twists of its own accord and floats in front of you. You watch as the pommel begins to crack and pop and spiderweb into these Fibonacci sequence-esque spirals. From these spirals, a series of tendrils of black smoke that drip with poison and venom begin to coalesce and form these tendrils that wrap around your body slowly, starting at your feet and then worming their way up between your arms, between your armor, around your head, around your neck. And in front of you, two tendrils reach further out and then coalesce into points at the end. One coalesces into a loosely smoky, almost translucent black hand with manicured fingernails with blood red nail polish. The other takes the form of a disembodied smoky mouth. And it repeats, in a voice that you heard, the transcript from the deal you made, where you hear the following conversation that you took part in. If that's an interesting offer to you, you could take it, but you need to be willing to keep a secret. Is that something you can do? To which, in your own voice, you hear yourself say, I will keep whatever secrets I need to keep to gain the strength I need to serve my master. And then the conversation drifts off from there. You feel, now that you have within literal seconds of taking this deal, it has been a minute since you agreed to this in real time. As you watch as the mouth disintegrates, and you watch as the spectral smoky hand reaches through your armor, through your body, and you feel it wrap around your heart like a snake, and you feel 5 delicate clawed fingers caress your heart and then slowly begin to squeeze. And at first you think it'll stop, and then it just keeps going. In unimaginable, searing, crushing pain in your chest that does not yield. You cannot move. You cannot scream. You cannot emote. It is only pain as you watch your vision start to close in from the shadows as they creep into your eyes as you feel yourself losing consciousness. The images of all your friends shatter. Like the points at which they are standing, it looks like they turn into glass statues and shatter and fall apart. And you feel blood start to pool out of your ears, eyes, mouth, nose. It runs down your face. And the blood seems to almost congeal instantly into this black ichor. And the last thing you hear as this happens is the same familiar voice going, Glacia likes you, so let's call this strikes 1 and 2. Let's not make this mistake again. It's almost my fault. This is why I don't deal with mortals. And then everything stops. Everything goes back to the way it was. The only thing that you can tell is different is that you've taken half your health in psychic damage and you fall over. Cole?
Holy shit.
Cole, you see Onyx start talking, and he starts talking about like what you heard him say. As soon as he got to the point where he said, I'm gonna have to, and it went to say what the jobs would be, he stopped talking, blood burst out of his eyes, nose, mouth, and he instantly hit the floor and went unconscious and just stopped talking. And he's just lying there, and as a pool of blood slowly forms around his head. He is still breathing. You can tell he is still breathing. But it seems like something has happened. From your perspective, it seems like something has happened. Everyone else in the room, you could not hear this conversation. You do hear the sound of an almost 300-pound tiefling in metal armor slam into the ground in a pool of his own blood. Continue where
His
you
head
were.
quickly snaps over to where it came from to see what the heck that was.
Did you say I passed out?
You hit the floor, like as soon as time restarted, from your perspective, your body just went weak and you slammed into the ground. You're not unconscious, but you are, as the vision ends at the point where you are lying in the floor in a pool of your blood that came out of all your orifices of your head, as you took an immense amount, half of your health, which is a lot of damage in psychic damage, instantaneously, as, let's call it a sort of warning that the terminology of a deal is very important and that we should make an effort to remember it. You do not
think... That bitch should have told me what the secret was!
She did.
deal was the
The
secret.
deal was the
You were
secret.
supposed
That's
to keep it a secret.
I have the entire transcript.
No. Keep a
What's
secret.
stated?
Yes, I can keep a secret. She didn't tell me I couldn't tell
No.
Cole.
That I have it in front of me. She said if that is a interesting offer, that being what she described about doing the jobs, you could take it. But implying that the previous of the statement is contingent on the 4, you need to be willing to keep it a secret. Period. Is that something you
was
can
willing,
do?
didn't say you had
Question
to.
mark. It was a prerequisite as per the
It's
verbiage
a
of the
demon
deal.
deal. Do you think a demon's just gonna be like, oh, la-di-da-di-da?
Yeah, she got you
I'm
on.
gonna-
Well,
She
my
got you on.
intelligence is 0, so I'm not smart,
Listen,
okay?
she got you on the letter of the law. That's what she does. She's a devil. I'm not saying
Yeah.
you've done something wrong. I'm saying from her perspective, you've been punished. Now,
Yeah.
there's a video on YouTube. You could rewatch the entire language of the devil deal. I have most of it written down in front of me in case you did this. But this is something that you specifically have to deal with now, where the contingents of contracts are very important. So as far as your character is concerned, it is very obvious what happened. You feel as though you've taken a sort of slap on the wrist comparative to what could have happened to you. You are aware of this and your knowledge of devils and devil deals, but it seems that given the circumstances and given that you are someone's favorite, someone very powerful, she has elected to not collect early on a deal she could have out of a combination of necessity and respect. You wake up from vision, on floor, in puddle, resume scene.
Onyx, you're right. What the fuck just happened?
Yeah, let's not talk about this right now.
You seem awfully calm. What's going on? I see a lot of blood, dude.
It could be a lot worse. Let's just end it there.
Oh, okay. Do you need help up? I can't lift you, but I'll get the big guy.
I can stand
Get the
myself.
big guys.
What happened to you?
You started talking and then just cut off. You started telling me what you
Ignore
saw.
that. What happened to you with the orb?
Oh, with me?
And
Oh,
Rex
well.
is just gonna call over and be like, "Hey, are you guys okay?"
Yeah, we're fine. Give us a minute.
Okay.
That doesn't sound
I
very,
just give a look to Ataraxia right now, like, can you believe this?
That doesn't
I
sound
just peek
very
over in interest.
reassuring.
So, I
Could
saw
I
a
have
vision.
seen that whole thing happen
You all
with where I'm
from
standing?
all of you could see him hit the floor because of the angle, but none of you would have seen anything I described from your perspective.
no, yeah,
like it
get
was
that.
Instant. From his perspective, it was longer, so it's
We
a
just
tiny
seem
thing.
collapsed.
So yeah, you
That's
just
it.
see a guy having a conversation. You can't hear what he's saying, and then he goes from mid sentence to the floor, covered in blood, instantly. Like there was
Damn
A to
diabetes.
B, no in between. It didn't look like he got hit. Cole didn't punch him. He was just all of a sudden on the floor, and then you're like, oh wow, and then Cole calls out and goes, we're good, and you're like, uh-huh.
Sure, buddy.
In the same way that you
Whatever
walk
you
in,
say.
you walk into your buddy's room and he very quickly changes the tab on their computer, and you're like, oh, and he's like, it's nothing. Sure it is.
I wasn't doing
I'm gonna
what you were
leave.
thinking.
this is not a circle.
But that is what you guys saw. You saw an instantaneous Peter Griffin
drop.
flop onto the ground, but with significantly more blood.
Okay.
And then Cole, you
So-
can continue. Yeah.
So I had a vision. I was in a room of treasures, and this ring showed itself essentially in the corner, piqued my interest. Then all of a sudden I started getting visions. Words were floating, asking me what was going on. I saw my mother, and that's where I kind of left it. And I said I'd trade anything for it. That's all I'm going for. And so I have this new ring now. I gotta learn a little bit more about it, but it's got some pretty cool shit.
Awesome. I'm glad you got something good.
Do you want to go reconnect over there? They all, I'm guessing they're a little worried.
Yeah, we could head back over there.
Okay.
Stupid freaking mouse.
As they come back, they're gonna hear Calyx asking Sai, so, what exactly happened to you? Because all I remember is you just, like, what? Someone jog my memory. She was just laying in a pool of like a lot of different like acid and fire.
No,
and
she
just
she was
uncomfy, or
laying
what
she
it?
was laying on the floor like bleeding. She took damage. Her wounds appear to have been a combination of acid, lightning, fire, ice, and poison.
And there was vomit next
And she
to
had
her
thrown up
because
from
she
what she
threw
had
up.
seen. Yes.
Yes. Are you doing okay right now, Sai?
You kind of like just see Sai like gaze off into like some distance, and like her gaze kind of glazes over, and it's like all of 2 seconds, and then she comes back into herself and just kind of says, it was a lot.
Ew, what did I step in?
Ignore that.
You might want to get your shoes
Definitely,
washed.
totally not, vomit.
You can wash them off in the pool of blood.
Just gonna go around it.
Yeah.
Just a lot of death is what
Got some
I
acid
will
if you
say.
want to burn it off.
That is. And then the orb kind of did a thing, and I was like, yes, and then I damaged me in several different types of ways, I think. My memory is a little foggy.
I'm gonna
It
say,
hurt.
I'm
Foggy, I
sorry.
get it.
As long as you're doing okay now, you're doing a little bit better after witnessing untold horrors behind your imagination.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm perfect. A+. I'm
Eh.
doing stellar. I mean, how
Did you
else can I be at this point?
Does anybody
everybody
else
go
feel
through
like
trauma?
I was gonna ask, did anybody else feel like
Who-
their soul
what
weapon
do you-
tried to hurt
don't-
them?
That's not what
No.
happened.
No.
I think mine.
Nope.
I'm totally fine.
Can't
I
say
feel
mine
like
tried to hurt me.
some of us had a much worse deal than others.
Imagine
Now that that's over, let's talk about something else.
I mean, Alex was just laying in a pool of his own blood. I'm not sure what happened to him, but
You should ask him. Onyx, you should tell him what happened.
Alex, what happened to you?
I think he got low on sugar.
Right, because
The
somebody who gets
diabetes.
low on sugar just
So he
bleeds
started
from all of their
bleeding from all of
orifices.
his facial orifices.
Dude, hate when that happens.
Thank
Did you
you,
ever clean his
Addie.
face off? Because it looks a little extra red.
If you look into your adventurers pack, I think the adventurers pack has insulin, so you should be good. It's ye olde insulin.
Hey, quick question.
Quick
Wait,
answer.
did you say his blood sugar was low or high?
Low.
Low now? He's missing half his
Insulin
blood.
would not do well. Insulin would kill him.
He was like Paul Blart. Just needed a little sugar.
Yeah,
I
hypoglycemia.
don't think I have any sugar on
Someone
me
get him
right
a
now.
Snickers.
What was your question, Onyx?
You're not you when you're hungry.
If I use lay on hands, does that count as a spell?
No, it's a pool. It's a pool of resources, so you can do any number from that pool onto any creature you want. It just takes an action to do. So if you wanted to take
Right.
14 and add it to yourself, you could, and then just subtract 14 from your pool.
Where's my pool?
It should be under
So
your resources.
it's your level times 5.
So you have a total of 15.
But that's once a day.
Yeah.
You know, you can use it until that pool is empty.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
You're just gonna dump it all into yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Then you have one left for if that matters, and you could heal yourself to full. Important note: when you heal yourself, like the wounds, because it's psychic damage, so it's like your head, your blood vessels, your eyes, all the blood vessels are bursting. Because you're using your power to heal you, and in a sense, your power is what hurt you. You feel almost like in the back of your head, like, what did we learn? As the wounds heal just a little slower than you think they should, and then they heal all the way. But like, it's not like that feeling is expecting a response. It's more like a twist of the heel into someone. It's like, okay, you're back to where you were. Let's remember what happened, and then it all goes through, and you're perfectly fine. Physically, you're perfectly fine. The blood is still there. It's all over your armor. It's all over the floor. But you're physically fine.
Okay. Luckily, I have red skin, so it blends in.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy, that's not blending too good.
Hey,
It's like applying concealer. If you just move it enough, it all goes away.
it's a little extra
I'm gonna
red
hand him-
creamy today.
Can I hand him my water skin? Like, do you want to wash off a little bit right now?
Hey, there's a well. If you guys want to
Let's go dunk him in
I
the
don't
well.
trust that
It's
well.
all the way back there, though.
The well is only partially acidic now.
Only
Hey, there's a
Only
whole
partially.
other well.
We
Sure.
poured that well into the other well.
Hey, that 3-foot hole mat is magical. Maybe it'll clean him.
Maybe.
He comes out covered in dirt instead of blood.
I mean, I think
Stuck
that
to
might
where
be a
all the
step
blood
up.
was.
What's funny is you guys haven't even checked on the magical hole.
Wait, what magical hole?
The
The
hole
one
you
that's
got.
3x3 in the wall over there that
tunnel.
he made in a green square.
That's a
There's a
tunnel, not a
tunnel?
hole.
Oh, that one? I thought he like made
Oh, that
a
was the hole in the ceiling that he flew through,
Oh,
right?
no, yeah, the whole
Wall.
the green rectangle is the path he disintegrated for you that he left out of that you guys, because you said we can't find the exit, and then Risen was like, I stone shaped the exit because I figured he'd have a way out of here, and then he's like, oh, I can make one, and then he just, instead of going through the effort of walking to the other end of the dungeon and breaking the wall, he just melted the wall behind you, and there's a vertically sloping path, like a cellar door path, like at an angle with no stairs, and like a wheelchair ramp, and then it goes all the way until there's sunlight at the end that says that it goes all the way to wherever you are. None of you know where you are. You know where you were, and then there's no windows or doors. So you're somewhere in the world where the caravan kind of was, but other than that, you could be anywhere.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if the little girl is okay.
She is still sleeping silently. She had
I know. I'm
yeah.
going over to the little girl now.
Yeah, she is. If you now that you take a deep moment to examine her, she has extremely dark circles around her eyes that belay like extreme exhaustion. She looks as though she hasn't slept in days, which ain't great for a 6-year-old. And she is very like skinny, and like almost like almost like a malnourished kind of thing. Like she doesn't appear as like her skin is very saggy. Like she's very either low on fluid, low on blood, low on energy. Like she is not dead or dying. Yeah, she is not dead or dying, but she belays the appearance of someone who needs a lot of rest.
You're not you when you're hungry.
Ophis, remind me if I did this. I'm pretty sure I said it last time. I gave her my bedroll to kind of sleep in.
Yeah, she is currently like tucked into your bedroll next to a small fire you made, and she's like, and she doesn't react to the comfort, but given her physical appearance, you think like she's gonna need either a doctor and an extended period of recovery in like a facility, or like round the clock like maintenance of like she's gonna be sleeping for 10 or 12 hours at a time, need to eat food but can't eat too much otherwise she'll get sick. She's gonna need a lot of water but can't drink too much too quick, and then another 10 hours of sleep. Like it's gonna be a long, almost physical therapy-esque recovery for her to get where she was. But you think after the healing from the Dragon General, you think she can do it. It's just there's no shortcut. You can't just like snap your fingers and cure her. This is a series of physical degradations from exhaustion. She has 4 points of exhaustion that will take a series of long rests to get rid of.
Okay.
So somebody
Sorry, while they're talking to the little girl, I'm gonna meditate to condense my sword, Ophis.
Okay, so you take
into a short sword.
Okay, so you take 10 minutes, and then you just slowly like you watch as you hold it out, and you're like closing your eyes, and you're meditating. Everyone.
So this is while they're talking.
Yeah. Everyone else who happens to over the course of 10 minutes look at him, you see that he's holding his sword like in his hands, like it's sideways. He's holding the blade in the hilt, and it's glowing a faint red, and there's almost like spectral black and red flames that wrap out from his hands over the sword, and you watch as over the course of 10 minutes the sword slowly shrinks and changes form into that of a short sword, but it keeps the same color pattern, the same design, the same pommel. It just all scales down and changes its weight and its balance, and then all the little spectral flames go away.
Well, that was pretty cool.
Oh, that was cool.
Neat.
And as for the girl, the girl, unless you significantly prompt her, shake her, aggravate her, try to wake her up, you feel she's probably not going to wake up for a while.
We should probably get her somewhere to people who could like properly
assist her.
A doctor.
Yeah.
A
The
doctor.
dragon
Maybe we
can
should
do it
carry
without
her through the
healer.
giant hole in the wall.
You could do that.
If the
To
general
figure out
couldn't
where we
help her,
are.
who the hell else will?
Listen,
He did help her a little.
why are you
bit.
being such a Debbie Downer right now?
I'm just asking a question.
It's a terrible question. Ask a different question.
Your question's invalid.
Does anyone have somebody that's stronger than the general made by the gods?
Time?
Huh?
That's a good one.
Regardless of,
I'm
I'm pretty sure the gods made time.
Okay,
Sure,
well, can
all
we
the
just
gods made that
figure
dude.
out where we are? Like, leave this place and
We should
figure out
probably leave.
the location in which we are, so we can get her to a town, and then proceed on whatever
Let's blow
thing
this
we
popsicle
need to
stand.
do. I don't
So-
think
So
that's
who's
possible.
carrying
Somebody
her?
gonna carry
I
her?
vote one of the big dudes.
Caleb.
I would vote Calyx, considering Onyx is covered in blood.
I mean,
I mean,
he did
okay.
kind of just collapse, so
I trust
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I gave him a
to have-
sticker.
Forget about it.
Can I also be
I
carried?
didn't know Onyx had a
How-
Brooklyn accent.
How
Sai,
big
you can get the
is
bloody
she?
guy.
The little
Onyx,
girl.
how,
She is a
comfortable
she is a
and-
6-year-old human. She's as big
Okay.
as a 6-year-old human, so I don't know,
Okay.
40 pounds.
We could probably
Maybe?
fit her in one arm and just carry her.
I don't.
Yeah.
My point is, I don't want to like log carry her or anything like that. I'm wondering, like, was she small enough to like kind of
Cradle
like?
the child out of the cave.
Dude, I'm a
Cradle.
28. I'm a
What do you
single
like to do
28-year-old. I don't know how to
backpack
carry a
and-
I'm pretty
6-year-old.
sure she'll fit in the palm of your hand.
She probably
Cradle
would.
her.
Okay, fine. I'll cradle. I was gonna. Okay, fine. I'll just
Tell you what,
cradle her
tell
in
you
my
what.
arms.
Ataraxia. If you
What do you mean arms
if you
for?
would so
She'll fit in your
choose,
hand.
Ataraxia can use her mystical magical druid powers and like some fabric or whatever, and she can make like a papoose with knots and weaving that Calyx could equip.
For-
It-
for
call
my-
it
What
a
is a
DC
Do I have
10.
to roll for that?
DC
Like,
10
what-
survival check.
Wait,
Now.
what is a
What did you say? A
papoose?
survival check?
She's 6, not
Yeah, survival.
2.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be a bigger than average papoose. That way, Calyx can keep her in the front and not log carry.
I
her.
only got a dude.
You work with bigger papooses
How do you
often?
spell papoose? I need to see an image of this.
Does
I'm
13?
sorry.
Does 13 do it?
Yeah, 13 does it.
Can I make a
see
strength
I
something.
say
check?
voice projects and see what pops up.
I'm making a strength check and I'm picking her up.
Wait, papoose, the American rapper?
How'd you know? He's
I
canon.
found. That's what I found.
No, papoose is the Native American thing that they wear in the front that they put like their babies in. That way they could still use their hands to.
Dude,
like,
no,
Like a
I'm just
kangaroo
gonna
pouch?
carry her in my arms. I'm just gonna cradle her. It's fine. Let's do that.
Oh,
Alex
go Sai!
needs a strength
Well,
check for this.
Ataraxia successfully makes a papoose. It looks great. It will definitely hold her weight. It's made out of like fabrics and scrap things and whatever, yada yada. Hand wave.
And your hands will still be free.
And
to
your hands will be
use while you
yeah.
carry the little girl.
And then Sai attempts to pick the girl
Now
up
you have a
and,
meat shield.
and then throws her back out.
I'm still very much affected by my vision. I literally face planted into the ground.
That's in the puke, Sai. Come on, now we're gonna clean you too.
Please help.
She,
Fat time.
she has
Hey,
a
let's
pinched
keep
nerve
her
on her
face.
E5 now, and she can't move.
Onyx, can you carry me?
What do I have to roll for that?
Okay, you gotta make a second. You gotta make a second papoose, but this one's for like a
She's
20-year-old.
not much heavier than a 6-year-old.
I could put her on my back. I don't need a papoose.
Yeah, you could like concert carry her,
She
like
can
like she
straddle
could
your
be on your
shoulders and
shoulders.
use your horns like a gauge.
I'd prefer not that
She can
part.
steer you.
I would kill her.
Well, you know what, Onyx, don't roll. You can. She's very light. You're very strong. If you want to carry Sai, you could carry Sai. It just I'll say if you carry her for an extended period of time, like more than an hour, it's gonna take survival checks or athletics checks, and if you fail, you're gonna get exhausted because it's extra weight on top of your hundreds of pounds of gear, armor, weapons, etc. But for the sake of the short term, you can carry one creature easily because Sai is very
Don't
light.
carry me for very long. It's fine.
Onyx,
Sai-
wipe the puke off first.
Sai, I'll carry you if you clean yourself up a little bit,
Same with
but only for a little
prestidigitation.
while.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna just put on the papoose and just like. Keep
I
her
grab
bottled in
Poe's
the
arm and I
bedroll.
Yeah,
wipe my face
Poe.
with
I'm
my
gonna-
sleeve.
I'm gonna thank you, Ataraxia, for this great.
What the fuck?
What is this?
Papoose.
Papoose. Thank you.
Hey,
This is
Cal,
a great papoose.
All right, hold on a second.
Alex,
I'm gonna
that
find a
papoose
picture
really
of a
suits
papoose so
you.
you guys know
I-
what the.
I found a photo of the papoose after I got past the rapper.
I'm
It's
glad
okay.
Oh, okay.
somebody knew what I was talking about, and I didn't feel like a fucking
Oh,
crazy
me-
person.
Whoa,
No,
whoa,
I
whoa,
knew
whoa,
it.
The
whoa.
two of us did.
Cole and Onyx aren't stupid. Completely.
I was gonna say. I just made
Says
it
the
pretty
guy who
clear.
almost got his
You
soul
guys
taken
didn't grow
5
up in a
minutes ago.
war-torn country.
What'd you say about us?
Anyways,
Calyx, I think that papoose looks sexy on you.
thank you.
It gives the Calyx now officially gives off dad vibes, like single
did
father.
before?
Alex already low-key did.
Does
I
he have
already
like
envisioned him with white Skechers and jeans.
no New Balance, white New Balance with
Corvette.
grass
Yeah.
stains?
Calyx actually has proficiency
Corvette.
in grilling. It's crazy.
I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna take that
and-
right now.
and
I'm taking the
Grilling
chance
and
to the
smoking,
next
you actually
level.
have proficiency.
Grilling, smoking, and papoosing.
Yeah. Okay,
Perfect.
now that the shenanigans are all set, I see that prestidigitation in the chat. Are you casting prestidigitation to instantly clean Sai
I
of her
forgot
vomit?
how. Yes.
Okay, you just say that you're casting it, and then you pick the clean option,
Okay.
and then pick a target
I-
yourself, and then it
I
happens.
cast And I clean myself.
Okay, so
thanks.
you watch as magically all the dirt, grime, blood, anything that was on Sai magically gets instantly cleaned off her, and she returns to like a sparkling, fresh out of the shower appearance.
Please carry me, and I make grabby hands at Onyx.
Okay, so just to be clear, you're taking the girl, she's in the papoose, all of you are leaving the dungeon, officially. You're all walking out.
Yeah.
Please. We're out.
Yes.
We are declaring.
I can't move the
We're
little
outie.
girl. So
That's
if
fine,
you
it's
want to
fine,
just
yeah.
like
Cole just
take
went
her
through a
token away.
wall.
Okay, yeah,
No,
guys,
that's the hole.
that's a
dummy.
wall. Guys, stop, the map ends. It's a second map.
No, it's the hole.
Okay.
We saw a person
Before-
on the other side of it.
This is the part in the video game where the video game pops up and goes, "You are leaving this location. Is there anything unfinished business you'd like to do before you leave? Because once you leave, you can't come back."
Are
we
we
get
gonna
selfie?
do anything with the guy's body before we leave, or are we just leaving him naked there?
Nah, fuck him.
I was gonna carry him out and bury him, but I kind of don't want him near like our young charge here at this point.
I can burn him.
Fuck him.
I would also like to
Oh.
remind, just because it's been like a month, there are 2 other bodies of the people who hired you. They're bones now, but they were people
Oh.
as well if you wanted to do something with them. None of you looked at them, looted them, picked their bones up, anything like that. So those are technically still interactable. There's also all the
Onyx,
dead
carry me
bodies
to the
that were
bodies.
undead as well.
I would like to
I
loot
feel like we
some
could-
bodies for gold pieces, possibly.
So you loot the bodies of the people who got ritualed, or the zombies that you killed.
Ritualed.
Okay, well,
I'll split up.
there is just bones. There's just clothes. It seems like everything valuable from them was probably taken by Risen, the guy who kidnapped them, and then you already looted him and took money off him. That was probably their money. You put the connection together.
Didn't take the money. That was the other two.
I took
Oh
the
well,
money.
whoever took the money, you draw the conclusion that if they had no
Well,
money but they
actually-
were merchants, it probably got taken.
Onyx is being such a gentleman and holding my purse for me.
Yeah.
I'm just carrying everybody's shit.
You're very strong.
No,
Carrying a
puke, size
person.
puke, not shit.
Right
No,
now.
size clean now. Size
Yeah,
clean
fine,
now.
That's fine.
Yeah, you're still stepping in it though. It's gonna track.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you're leaving Risen, that's fine. It's just I need to know, are you taking the bones? Like, are you gonna put the bones in like a bag and maybe go? And because remember, they hired you on behalf of a company. Are you going to try to contact the company to let them know what happened here? Because as far as the company's concerned, none of you ever showed up, so
Yeah.
they don't know what happened.
I would like to,
Okay.
if possible.
Oh,
Do they
so
have
you need
any
two
like
pick-
symbols or anything that would
I don't
indicate the company
know
they
if
were
bones
from,
will
though?
be very
You-
much
they don't.
useful.
It's no longer on their body, but you know that they hired. They said that they hired you on behalf
Okay.
of the Moonglow Trading Company.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good
but
enough
if
for me
we
then.
take those bones, they're just going to be a pile of bones. It's not going to show
They
anything.
don't
I
have-
think
fact,
not
they
like
might
they
should
bury them.
analyze that they were a person that worked there.
Our best
No,
chance
I
is
think
showing
we
the
should bury
freaking
the bones
cloak that
outside.
I'll be
Bronte
right
stole,
back.
but then that still looks bad.
Guys, I think we should just carry them outside and bury the bodies. Like, give them a proper rest.
How big is that papoose?
I will say the bones, they're very old because a lot of the moisture and energy and the matter has been sucked out via the ritual. Each pile of bones weighs about 15 pounds and can fit within like, let's call it like a medium-sized bag. We'll say it takes up like a pouch on the side that's like 1.5 foot diameter. Like it's a big bushel that you can kind of hang off your belt or your back. It's not extremely heavy or out of the way because there's no flesh, there's no sinew, it's just the bare minimum of a skeleton with no moisture, no marrow, no whatever.
I guess I'll grab one.
Yeah, the only reason
you.
you were able to figure out who the bodies were was because of their clothing and the fact that one was a male skeleton, the other one's a female skeleton. So like those are the only 2 indicators that you're like, oh, those are almost certainly the people who hired us, and they're very clearly not alive anymore. You also never got their names. They spoke in code.
They're also
You know
dead.
what? That's
Also,
fair.
just bones now.
Yeah, the male was only ever referred to as biscuits, and the girl was only ever referred to as gravy.
I'll carry biscuits.
Okay, add biscuits to your inventory, but in
Oh.
quotation marks so that you don't eat them.
Can somebody else carry biscuits? My keyboard's on the other side of the room.
So Onyx carries biscuits.
Yay!
I was
This
gonna
is
say
why
I
Onyx
can
is already
carry-
carrying my other shit.
I can carry biscuits if it's not like super heavy.
Yeah, it's like what did I say, 15 pounds?
I
No.
feel like Onyx is carrying a lot right now. I can take biscuits.
Cole needs to get a
Is anyone taking
Bluetooth
gravy?
keyboard.
Cole needs a
I
Bluetooth
suppose
keyboard.
I'll take the gravy.
Okay, so you can add gravy.
The
You can add
gravy.
quotation marks gravy quotation marks to your inventory. Or you could put Gravy's corpse, one or the other. Whatever feels comfortable to you. But then once
Not young Gravy.
Yeah, and then
What
once
about
you
corpse gravy?
and then once you've done that and now that that's been
I
done,
wrote 15 next to it to make
I
sure
assume now
said
you
it was
guys
about
once you've
15.
collected everything, you are now leaving the dungeon proper.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that correct? I need to hear yes from everybody.
Yes.
Aye.
Excellent.
Ta-da!
You all leave the dungeon with various bags of bones and unconscious miners in tow. And you climb this slow sloping path that was carved for you out of stone and earth by the Dragon General, and it goes on for a couple 100 feet. You determine you were fairly deep underground, all things considered, but you eventually reach the sun as it was shining, and you come out at the edge of a forest. There are trees behind you. In front of you is somewhat of a clearing onto what appears to be a dirt path that has been cleared and maintained to some degree. The thing that catches you off guard is the enormous mountain of corpses. You see dozens of dead skeleton archers and zombies strewn about haphazardly. Some burst into flames, some cut in half, some hanging off of bushes and the occasional tree. You see the skeletons of giant monstrosities, minotaurs 10, 15 foot tall, cleaved completely vertically in two and fallen apart. You see war horses in degraded armor, skeletal as well, that have been cut in half or had their legs removed or are half dead and are trying to crawl with one undead hoof towards this enormous woman that you now see. She stands easily 9 foot, maybe 10 foot tall, and she wears this absolutely insane black armor with a massive red gemstone in the chest. The armor is covered in spikes, like studs that are caught with flesh and bits of bone of things that have hit her. She wields, most notably of all, an enormous greatsword, far beyond the capacity of what could even be considered a weapon. It functions more like a slab of iron with a handle. It is probably as tall as her, if not bigger, and easily 2 foot wide. It is roughly hammered to a point on both ends, but you can tell it's not sharp. And as she goes about mowing through this horde of undead, she kills everything almost instantly, almost smashing it in half, really not even cutting. It comes strictly from the force as opposed from any sort of refinement. And you come out at this moment seeing almost all of these bodies, and you see a man dressed in a black cloak and outfit extremely similar to the necromancer you just faced, desperately attempting to crawl away on his hands and knees, extremely bloody, barely even alive, in fear. As he hastily scrambles away from her, she has a boot on the low of his back and is holding this massive iron slab sword above, and you watch as it explodes into this gout of white flame, like looking directly into the sun. And she looks like she's about to kill him. What do you do?
I'm not getting between her.
I'm
and her
not-
fucking
I'm not stopping
I'm
that.
in
I'm gonna let
here.
her.
No,
I'm gonna let her do
Have fun with that.
Sorry, that's a girl boss move. I'm not
Goodbye.
fucking with that.
Damn, I'm glad party full of
I'm gonna
cowards.
wave bye to the guy from the hall.
One sec. Can I?
I'm
can
cheering
I
for her.
picture-
Oh,
I'm gonna
ready
sit
for
here
some
and
of this.
sit here and
I'm ready
wave
for
goodbye at the
popcorn
dude
right
laying
now.
on
I
the
wanna
floor with
watch
a boot
this
on his
shit.
back.
Normally, I would go up
Bye-bye.
there, but I don't really want to risk
Gonna
the,
say bye bye.
the papoose.
Bye,
I
bye,
don't want to
bye.
risk the papoose.
Oh, thanks,
I say we
music.
follow her.
Save the
I-
goose.
Wait.
Like
Hold up.
the papoose and
We're
the girl.
all
I just
voting-
don't want to risk them being injured.
We're all voting to let her do whatever she's doing to the guy, right?
Well, it appears that he's like a
He
member.
appears to be
of
a
the
necromancer, so I'm gonna let her just take him out.
Oh, but when me and Onyx want to kill somebody,
Well, we
If
need
she's
to see
gonna
the
do it
prerequisites to this
instantly.
fight.
I didn't need the sass, Calyx.
We just walked into this. It's not our right to bother. We don't know the prerequisites.
It's like the scene
I
from.
say
It's like from the
we let
scene
her
from
do what
Community.
she's gonna do, and then we try to approach her.
I vote
and
we
bust
let her
charge.
murder the dude that she's clearly got a problem with and is about to use a flaming sword against, and
Also,
then we
Kayla
speak
can
to her.
definitely walk at the front with the child.
Meat shield.
No, not a meat shield. Anybody with bones should be to the back because she might take that as the wrong thing right now.
It's an offering.
Okay, so
What
it
the
seems
offering?
it seems like the sentiment is you're not gonna get involved.
No.
Pretty much.
Okay, you watch as she like her mouth is moving. You can't hear her. She's like 100 and something feet away. And then like you see the guy like squirm and say something, and then you watch as she just like almost flicks her wrist, and the handle of the sword moves, but she never moves her arm. And you watch as it just the entire massive like slab spins around 360, and you watch his head just fall off his body, and no blood comes out. It's instantly cauterized, and his eyes are just like blinking and flashing because his nervous system has to catch up with what just happened, and he dies. And then she looks around, sees the 7 of you, and starts walking towards you and points her sword at you.
Oh,
I raised my hands up.
Ah, shit.
know.
I'm
Um,
gonna step to the front of the group
Would
and
this-
none of us
try-
let us put our hands in the air.
Wait, take me off!
I'm gonna step
Put me
to the front of the
down
group and
first.
say, please,
I'm
can we
gonna
talk?
just
We
put
just
my hands up
escaped
in
the
a
dungeon.
surrendering manner
Onyx literally
and look extremely panicked at the large lady.
Put me down
coming in
now!
the
Oh, spies on.
Dude, why
Sai, get off my back right now!
Why couldn't you be this scared? Why couldn't you be this scared with the first villain I made? Like, come on, like Risen was scary, right?
We don't
What do you-
think she's a villain.
No.
I just
Okay,
Buddy, look,
I'm
Risen didn't immediately
Ophis?
take out an army of people and instantly cut off someone's head.
fair enough.
Ophis, I'm
Yeah.
standing at the front,
Who do you
arms
serve?
open, and just saying, "Hey, we just like to talk. We just fought some undead ourselves. We just want to talk and figure out what's going on right now."
We're scared and confused. What the fuck is going on?
Okay, so you shout that, and she's about let's call it 30 feet away, and she hears you say all that, and she like squints at you, and she's like, okay. She doesn't say
Yeah,
anything.
like, show the
She gives like a
papoose.
nod. She gives like a nod of like, I've heard what you said, and then she, within a less threatening manner, she continues to walk up until she's like about this far,
Okay.
and she says, as I lower the dramatic music that decided to turn on 2 minutes too late. She says, innocence, huh? I'd believe you if that's not what the last one said. I don't much care for the internal politics of your idiotic, pig-swill-filled organization. I have a man that needs dying, and I intend to do that. If I have to go through the 7 of you fools, I intend to. But Risen isn't seeing the sun.
Well,
I would
Oh,
like to
hey,
see
great
that.
news! He's dead.
Arab man?
Cool,
He's
we
already
just
dead.
murdered
he's
him.
dead.
His,
Okay,
his naked,
Brontes.
his,
You
his
can go
naked
look
soulless
yourself.
body's in there.
He's done
We
for it.
didn't murder him.
Mutilated corpses down there.
Okay, so 7 of you speak over each other, and she like her left eye twitches, and she's like, okay, as she attempts to decode everything that just got said, and she like she doesn't slash, but she kind of like lowers her tense of her posture, and she's like, you knew the name, but you don't seem offended at the idea that I'm here for him. You
One
claim that you've killed him, or at least that you have been tangentially related, I think. You all said different things, but I'm willing to hear you out at least. I don't know what's going on here.
Okay,
So-
wait a second. Tea time on
This
everybody.
guy.
Tea time on
Hold on,
everybody.
hold on.
Hold up! Wait a minute.
Something ain't
Okay.
right here.
I got this.
Wait, no. Wait,
Shut
I
up.
have an idea.
Nobody trusts Cole.
I'm gonna look at Brontes and I'm go, you still have Risen's cloak, don't you?
I would happen to have it.
So, and I'm gonna look to her
I
and
would
it's
like to
Risen's,
show her it.
Risen's dead, and as he shows her, I'm like, Risen's dead body is down there. He kept us all captive, along with this little girl. And I'm just gonna point to her and just
In
go,
the
we
papoose.
just got out of here. Yeah, I'm gonna motion to the papoose. And I'm gonna, we just escaped from Risen. Risen is dead. And again, like, I'm gonna point at Brontes, who has the cloak.
I'm
Okay,
holding the
okay.
cloak out in my hand.
I will say, because Brontes is like holding out the cloak and stuff. Calyx, you can roll persuasion with advantage.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez. How do I set advantage on this?
You can just click it
Click
twice if you can't
advantage
find the
tab.
button.
Yeah. Did that go in there?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
13. Okay, so she like, you could tell she doesn't 100% believe you, if only because it's an extremely convenient story of like, I'm here for this guy. The last guy I just met tried to jump me. I've just met 7 more guys who shouldn't be here, and all they've proven is that Risen is naked because it's just a cloak. It's a black cloak. You could buy those. So at
I
I mean,
worst,
isn't
he's
it like covered in
Can I
burn
tea
marks and
time
blood?
again?
it's
Can
no,
I
it's
tea time again
it's
for a second?
it's pristine actually. There's almost no damage to it. That's why Brontes took it. Is because despite everything, it actually sustained no damage.
Can I also put tea time for a second to speak to Onyx, who is carrying the stuff for Cole?
You can whisper
put me
to
down.
Onyx, but she is watching you. So if you try to do something like that could aggravate her, she would see it.
Can I offer to bring her back into the cave and show her his dead body?
She hears you and she's like, I don't think I trust walking into a column with all of you. How about this? And
How
she
about
like
just me?
she does this, and then can you see the aura around her?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna make it so you can
There's
see
an
the
aura.
aura around her. She holds her sword out and like slams it in the ground, and then she puts both hands over it, and then you see her start to like whisper something, and she's like, I don't know, and it's not. It's like it's indistinct magical uttering. It's not
Not
anything
doing it.
specific. And then she holds her hand out, and in her hand she pulls out this like amulet that you recognize is like a platinum amulet emblazoned with the symbol of Lythander, the god, like the god of humans. And she casts Zone of
Can I ask
Truth.
her if she just saw the big ass dragon fly?
Zone of Truth.
So
So,
we can't
I don't
look.
see nothing.
oh no, in the chat. It's in the chat.
I can see it.
Yeah. So
Hey, Aura!
what
looks
happens?
angry.
What happens? That's not me doing that. Someone's doing that. But what happens is she does her muttering. She holds out the amulet. A 10-foot aura bursts around her, awash in golden light, and she says, "This is a zone of truth. You cannot lie in this zone. Neither you nor myself. One of you step forward into this zone, this holy zone. You will speak for all of you. I will ask you questions. You will answer them. Who will do this?"
I'll do it.
Okay, so you walk forward into the aura. Okay, what's gonna happen, you have the option to attempt to make a save. You can choose to fail it and be subject to the effect of the spell, or you could try to resist it. If you attempt to resist it, you know the way spellcasting works, she will know. Do you attempt to resist it, or do you let the aura go over you?
I'm gonna let it.
Okay.
I'll let it happen.
She looks
Ta-da.
at you very sternly, and she goes, "Explain to me, start to finish, what you were all trying to explain at the same time, in as concise detail as possible."
Okay. So, we were hired for this job at a caravan. Altogether, we were sleeping. We were supposed to be second watch while the first watch was watching. Something happened. We don't know what. All we know is we woke up in this cave dungeon. I don't know. But, basically, we were shackled to a wall. We all got out of the shackles, explored for a while. There was puzzles with a well, and we eventually solved that. But first we had to fight this box. I didn't really see the box, but apparently everybody else fought the box. And we got a staff, and a gem, and some crazy stuff happened, and there was a magical barrier that went down. And when we walked through the magical barrier, there was Risen. We didn't know his name was Risen at the time, but he was doing this ritual and taking sucking the life out of people. The other people we were supposed to be at the caravan with were already dead. And that little girl that's in the little papoose over there, she was his current target when we walked into the room. There was skeletons and zombies that we had to fight, like the ones that you killed in that pile over there. And we killed all of those. We tried to stop Risen from doing whatever it was he was doing. But we were kind of too late. And this big dragon general guy came out of a coffin. And then we asked Risen some questions, and he told us about these hand people that he works for. And we kind of tried to kill him, didn't try to kill him while we asked him questions. And then the dragon general, I think, ripped his soul out. And he's dead in there now. And the dragon general opened up the pathway that we just came out of and is gone. And now we're here.
Yeah. She stares at you for like the longest 10 seconds of your life with this look of like, if she wasn't attempting to conceal it, she would be rubbing her temples, like at the absurdity of what you just said. But she knows you can't be lying. So she knows everything you just said happened, at least in your mind, the way that you just described it. And she's just gonna like stare at you, and then she's gonna walk up next to you and put her hand on your shoulder, and she goes, all of you stay here, don't follow me. And then she walks into the hole you just came out of, and she disappears. And you hear like the sounds of her steps getting further and further away. And then I assume you guys are all waiting around.
Run!
We're gonna wait around, but when she comes back, I kind of want to
Ask what? You cut out.
Weird.
Ask what?
The dragon was an hour ago. We all slept.
Yeah, the dragon was an hour.
Meditated.
Yeah, but we don't know when she got here.
True. I mean, yeah, you could ask.
How long it took her to fight all these things.
I want to ask if she saw anything weird, like a dragon-y
That's
dude
crazy.
come out.
Because Cole stated that 5 minutes ago, and no one said a word.
Well, we were going through
Also, I
some
want
stuff
to know
back
if
then.
the sun did anything. I mean, we did just fly a god into the sun.
Demigod.
He flew himself into the sun.
Also
It's
true.
not like you would see it. It's that very
Sun's
far
pretty
away.
far away.
Oh, hold up. He's super powerful.
Do you got sunglasses that strong? It ain't no eclipse day.
I was gonna say, he's a speck compared to the sun.
You're a
Yeah,
speck.
but he's so powerful
You look like a
that
speck.
it might have done something weird.
You're 5'3".
It might, you know, you
I
can.
feel like
yeah.
it's gonna take him a
I
while
feel like
to fly
Ophis
to the
would
sun.
tell us if something weird happened.
Yeah, it's weird. The sun is
Let's
actually
go
purple
back.
now. You guys just noticed. Yeah. No.
I like purple.
Oh, that's why her hair's purple.
Yeah.
Ah, my
The-
flaws are purple.
Oh, wait. Her and I match.
Purple
Yes.
Yes,
Now,
I had purple hair.
as
Oh, I knew
after a few minutes, you hear like the clinking of her armor as she starts to walk back up, and you see her
Ash it, hide.
Yeah, you see her appear from the hole. She's dragging his body by an ankle, and like his arms are like She is very undignified, and she drags him like through the dirt, and then she walks back to where she's standing, and she kind of like throws him to the side into like a bush, with like a "I'll deal with that later" opinion. She clearly does not care or respect the corpse in any capacity, and she goes, "Okay, we got off on, let's call it a strange foot. We'll do introductions and go from there." And then she reaches into like the neckline of her like this big black terrifying spiked armor, and she pulls out about a 6-inch by 6-inch like placard shaped like a shield, and on it it's platinum coating, like something like almost looks like sterling silver, but you could tell it's platinum. And then over it is a 24 karat gold overlay of the image of a right hand that's splayed out with a ring on every finger, which all of you would recognize as the symbol of the empire you're in, of the God's Hand Empire. But more specifically, you know that a platinum shield with a gold hand denotes a high-ranking member of the Royal Knights, of like the king's personal knights, separate from the military. It's like he sends them on specific jobs. You don't see them like walking the street. Think of them as the equivalent of like a combination of Secret Service but also FBI. And then in our world. and she introduces herself, and she makes her name thing visible now, and she says, "I am Royal Grand Knight Abigail. You can call me Abigail, Mrs. Knight. I don't care. Who are you? And more importantly, what did you just say about a dragon general? I care more about the second thing than the first."
That rising guy was trying to zombify him, but it didn't work, and he kind of just woke him up, and now he's in the sun.
She looks at you. She looks at you incredulously, and she ignores the sun comment, and she goes, "He opened the coffin." And
Technically, the dragon guy opened the coffin
Technically,
himself, but yes.
That's
And-
the guy that made us our path to get out of there.
He
And
technically
Risen
woke
looked
him up.
extraordinarily surprised when the guy woke up, not as a zombie.
Woke up.
Woke
I
up.
think she knows that. I think she's concerned about that part.
she kind of strokes
I
her.
think she's
She
aware.
kind of strokes her chin and does like a nodding face, and she goes, I understand. I had a good enough life, I guess." And
Hold
then,
up, wait, hold.
And then she
Hold up!
she points her
Wait a
sword.
minute.
She points her sword at Risen's body, and you watch a column of holy fire fall out of seemingly nowhere, and instantaneously incinerate him, his bones, everything into
We could
ash.
light him on fire.
Into ash, but it doesn't damage any of the like the grass or the bushes or whatever, and it's instantaneously vaporized in holy fire. As she points her like massive sword at it, and she's like, you could see she's white knuckling the sword, like she's clearly enraged, but she's really trying to keep it professional, as benoting of a woman of her standing. She can't go flipping her lid, so she's like, okay. Well, and then she continues to, cause Sai's the one who's talked, and she goes, "I assume you saw who got out of the coffin.
Yes.
What do you know?" And then she
Well-
gestures as to say, like, before you answer, walk into the zone of truth.
I climb off Onyx's back and step into the circle.
Okay. And then once you're under the effect of not being able to lie, she will allow you to speak.
You cannot choose to fail it.
Fail.
Okay.
Then you feel the magic wash over you, and you kind of feel it wash over your mind, and it numbs your ability to knowingly tell a lie.
So he told us about his decision to put himself there to prevent this. Do we know that it's called the Star Scourge in game?
Yeah, he used the word Star Scourge. He also called it the
Um,
Great Enemy, or the Enemy from the Stars. Your pick.
The Star Scourge, to prevent it from coming back. And then he gave us these, or at least this is what I have, and I pull out the orb, the Torn Skies, and kind of show it to her.
Her eyes singular, she has an eye patch, instantly widen. She, in an unnatural, blinding amount of speed, closes the distance between you. For someone as big as she is, she shouldn't be that fast. And you watch as she instantly, like, dashes up to you, and with both hands grabs your wrists, and, like, holds the orb up to her face, like, her good eye, and is like, there's the facade drops, and there's this wide-eyed look of terror at what you're holding in your hand. And she looks down at you, because she's like twice your fucking height because you're tiny. And she looks down at you and she goes, "He gave all of you one of these?" And like she looks
I
out.
believe so. I mean, there were 6.
She looks out
7.
at the group. Do
Wait,
you
how many
show
are there?
them?
No,
Do
sorry,
you
6.
thumbs
I
up,
can
thumbs
count.
down?
I mean,
Everyone except the girl in the papoose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ataraxia nods with the tiara literally on her head.
I mean, I'm kind of
nods.
holding my staff.
Me and Onyx, I guess, are of the same vein where we're just kind of not really saying anything and just watching what happens.
She, after seeing that, she sits on the ground. Like, she just sits. And she just kind of starts, and kind of stares into the ground.
So she's eye level with us now?
Yes.
Except for Cole. Cole's still too short.
What did you
Miss
say, Brontes?
Abigail?
I said Cole's still too short to be eye level.
True.
Wow! Wow!
Important fact.
I'm the one that made the damn joke first. Don't let us steal my lightning.
Good job, Brontes. Good observation.
Sai, you said you call out to her?
Yeah, I put the orb back wherever I keep it. And I go, Miss Abigail, Knight Lady, ma'am, sir, person?
And she looks up absent-mindedly at you, like her eyes have kind of like the lids of her eyes are drooping in a very defeated defeated expression, and it belays the insinuation of like she wasn't at the conversation you had, but given her reaction, it seems like she might have already known the implications of what have happened, and now that you've shown proof, like undeniable, indelible, eligible proof that it happened, and she's put the 2 and 2 together that the Dragon General did when you first started speaking to him and he was all sad, and she's kind of like, what?
Might be a misplaced question, but are you all right?
And she looks at you and she goes, I've worked so hard for years from nothing, from poverty, to get to where I am now. And I've enjoyed 1 whole year of my title of being the Royal Grand Knight. And now none of it's gonna matter, because we're all gonna fucking die. Great. So no, I'm really not alright. I happen to like a lot of things that are alive, and they are not gonna be that way shortly. So no.
Well, I can't say what will happen. It sounds impossible. But I think we have a chance. I believe we can. I may be a nobody from nowhere, but this means something to me. And I'm not going to sit down on the ground and, no offense, mope about something that hasn't happened yet. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure it doesn't, or die trying.
Persuasion check.
Fuck.
Well, you think she's just gonna do it? No, she's fucking depressed.
I know. Watch this not be good.
Hey, above average. Well, you rolled exactly average, so 13. But she looks up at you, and like you could tell, like your rousing speech, it hasn't, like, she's not instantly energized, like, yeah, let's take on the world. But she looks up at you, and then she kind of looks at all of you. She looks at the girl you saved. She looks at everyone standing around, and she kind of like gets up and like and dusts herself off. Yeah, she goes to grab your hand, and you watch as her hand eclipses like your hand and also like a good chunk of your forearm. But she's like, oh, and she pulls herself up so that she doesn't pull you to the ground. And then she looks at you and she's like dusts herself off, and she goes, well, I guess I've never been one to quit before. What's unattainable odds in the face of trying? And she's like, you could tell like her heart wants to be in it, but you get the impression that maybe she knows stuff you don't know, that the idea of like fighting back is just not it's just not registering the way, like she's not reacting the way you guys reacted when you were talking to the Dragon General of like, we could say like, we'll try, we'll do our best, like when you had your visions and you're like, I won't let that happen. She, for whatever reason, she doesn't have that drive in her, and your speech has not instilled that drive in her. But she looks at you and she goes, am I to assume then that after your conversation with the general, that I still can't believe you had, that you're picking up where he left off with him and his friends, and you're going to be the party that defends everything. Am I to assume he's, in a sense, given you he's passed the spiritual baton? Am I correct in that?
I kind of looks at her group mates.
Onyx will interject and say,
Ataraxia
that's
on.
why he allowed us to try and obtain these weapons in the first place.
And why the weapons chose us in the first place.
I think, yeah.
Well, then she kind of like loosens herself up and kind of like, she doesn't pep herself up, but she like kind of stretches out, and she's like, well,
recovery last wasn't optimal.
Well, I can't see the future as much as I wish I could. But at the very least, I suppose I owe you guys at least some help in saving literally everything. That's what a Grand Knight would do at the very least. And then we'll go from there. And then she like puts her like amulet away and puts her like her placard back in her like on their neckline. And then she goes, well, if he gave you a task, then it's my job, as disappointing as a situation we might all find ourselves in, it is my job to assist you in that task. That is the now not so secret role of the Grand Knights, after all. We were taught that this could happen, though in the last 1,000 years, it never actually did, so we always just kind of thought it was a story. But I guess
That sucks.
every story has a kernel of truth. So, I'm assuming then that he instilled you with a specific task of some kind. I'll do my best to accommodate if I can, but at the very least, I need to know what you talked about. What your plan is.
Fuck shit up.
You're still in the zone of truth. You gotta break the truth.
She exhales briefly from her nose, as though like to acknowledge that was kind of funny. But like you can tell though that like her heart, like she's not chuckling, like she's still very depressed. So it's not like you got me, haha. She's still like I get it. Anyway,
Cole didn't realize that Mike would pick it up.
Yeah, well, she has very good hearing. So.
Sounds like she needs some Xanax.
Yeah. So and then she kind of holds her stare on Sai because Sai's still in the zone.
Yeah.
He gave us or told us that one of his soldiers, partners, teammates could still be alive. And that was one of the things that we needed to do. That could possibly help us with this shit show.
She gives like an incredulous smirk. She goes, if there was a way to live 1,000 years, I would have hoped they would have shared it with us. But I can't say that even with access to all the information I have at the capital's grand libraries and the secret information of the castle, that I know anyone at all still alive from back then. That's an almost incalculable amount of time. I can't say if one of his friends have survived a millennia, I can't say that I can help you get to them because I don't know who it would be or where they would be. Is there anything else?
Any chance we could get to that library?
Sure, I could take you to the capital. But I mean...
No, but can you get us in the library?
Well, the library's public. Anyone can go in the library. You see the library card. It's like a state-funded thing. Part of your taxes actually go to the library. That's why you pay taxes. It's for the public education.
As the Grand Knight looks at us as we're idiots.
And then,
it's been a while since I've been into a city.
Yeah. And then she kind of like sits and she's like, almost hoping that there's like a second mission or like an overarching plot, or you guys have strategized some really cool strategy that you're withholding, that you're gonna be like, and here's our battle plan. We thought it all out. And she's almost hoping that you're gonna be like, okay, so here, like pull out a map and put pieces on the map, and she's hoping that you've got to have thought of this more than we're just gonna win.
You're not for the explorer.
No, in the moment,
In hindsight.
It's not a plan. It's the essence of a plan.
I'm gonna yell over everybody and go, he wanted us to unite the kingdoms.
Oh yeah, that. Sorry.
Oh,
Here.
and then when you say that, she like perks up and like looks over at you, and she goes, unite the kingdoms, like make another continental army like last time.
Yes, to fight the Star Scourge. I yell if I'm still outside
Yeah.
the zone of
That
truth.
sounds
Don't
right.
wait to throw in
Yeah.
the papoose.
And she goes, well, I'm a knight of this empire. I can't say I play politics all that well, but if that was his plan, it worked once, I suppose it could work again. I can get you an audience with the king. That's not hard. I have to give him my report for what I did here anyway. And she gestures to the absolute massacre 30 feet to her right. And she goes, I could bring you along. That's not an issue. Convincing him, men in power, men to be completely, all men, no one is ever going to want to be the king who tells his populace the world is going to end, or that an enemy thought unthinkable is returning. So convincing him, that will be on you. But I can
I
get
got
you
it.
an audience.
I got this.
I mean, all we need is an audience, and we'll kind of work. I'm
figure it
still
out from
yelling
there.
over
We'll handle
everybody,
the rest
and
of
we'll
it.
just work on like getting everyone else. But we have to start somewhere. And the
I'm
human
a
empire
pretty
seems
good
like
talker myself.
The Dragon General gave us these soul items. He believes in us, so I think that's.
He must
worth
have noticed
medal.
something.
He saw something in us, and I think we can. All of us convince the king.
We got
And,
this.
yeah, and she looks at the items and she's like, at the very least, you're right. I mean, soul items were destroyed after the war, confidentially speaking, but some of them were kept around. Each one has the strength to, at its maximum potential, it's said it has the strength to topple a nation. 6 of them, that's a lot. I hope
Sick nations.
you guys are as good-hearted and responsible as the general hopes. I really do.
Got some in your throat on.
Because if even one of you used that power for evil, a war on 2 fronts could doom everyone. It's almost impossible to conceive the idea of fighting the Star Scourge again and winning after we barely survived last time. The idea of having to deal with them and some other annoying third party is extremely discouraging. So consider yourself filled with the same faith from me that the general has placed in you. And I suppose when you're ready, I have a cart. It should fit most of you. We could start the journey to the capital if you're ready.
Let's do
Are
it.
we ready?
Onyx just kind of gives us.
Should we bury the remains of the 2 from us with us?
Yes, I would
Big
like to
sit and
bury the
gravy.
remains while we can.
Okay.
Wait, I
So-
thought we were taking
This Royal
them
Grand
back to
Knight,
show-
can you cremate them real quick? Just make it easy.
Just
Wait, I
don't
thought we
cremate
were
them. We'll just make it
purposely
great.
taking them back to show what happened to them.
No, they're just bones. It won't they don't have any symbols. We just have the names that they were from the Moon Glow Trading Company, and their names were Biscuits and Gravy. Like they're just bones. We don't have any
Honestly,
symbols
we
or
look
anything.
a little.
We don't have any
lost.
real proof that they were people. They were actually
I
them.
mean,
They're
we
just
asked
bones.
again. Can
I feel
you
like it's more of a
please
respect
just-
thing.
Okay, yeah,
Like-
we'll have her cremate them.
Okay, so I'm gonna recap what just happened. So Brontes and everyone who has the bones, you held up the bones. You're like, we got these bodies, and then Cole says, "Hey, can you cremate these bodies real quick?" And then Kalix says, "I thought we were taking them back to the capital because those people hired us to return the bodies to their families."
I did not
No,
say
I
that.
said
Oh,
that.
you said. I'm
Addie
sorry.
said that.
It's a lot of names.
Bad God.
And then so you did that, and then she's looking at you, and she's looking at 2 bodies in bags, and then you're like, "Can you just
what?
burn?" And then you're like, "Can you just burn these?" And she's gonna go, "Okay, I could."
Okay.
You said these were people from the capital. These were employees of a company. Who were they?
Calix is gonna interrupt. They were they hired us to help guard the caravan that was attacked by Risen and the undead. They're from the Moonglow Trading Company. We never even got their names. We're gonna bury their bodies out of respect.
She, like, when she hears Moonglow, she like makes a face, and she's like, "You shouldn't do that."
If you would like to burn...
No, she holds her hand up and she goes, "That's the right thing to do. It's what we should do. Sundress wouldn't like that. We're bringing them to the capital. I don't want to hear it."
Who's Sundress? Can I, like, roll a history? Is that, like, the king?
Dude, you could roll a history. Anyone could roll a history if you want.
Yeah.
Do you want? Who has the highest?
Calix can roll his 3.
What
What do you mean Calix can roll his 3? I got a 19!
Isn't that good?
Well,
That's really good.
Anyone who gets above a 15 would recognize that Sundress is the name of the matriarch of the Moonglow Trading Company. She's like the owner, and she's the newest. Like, she's been around a while, but the Moonglow Trading Company it's been a long-standing family business that have over decades and decades and decades and decades has expanded to be the biggest trading company in the entire empire. There's a store in almost every city outpost. They have special deals with the government to get like stalls put at military bases, like food courts, and like she's very, very politically influential due to her money. She's very secretive. You rarely ever see her at a location or just like out on the town, but her name is well known because anytime someone gets in trouble with the Moonglow, like they become a not so good customer or they fall out of faith, it's almost a commonly used warning of like, oh, watch your back, you know, you piss Sundress off, you might disappear. It's very cryptic. No one knows if her name is actually Sundress, but she's always been referred to as Sundress. No one even knows what she looks like. But when she says Sundress, you know that she's probably referring to that Sundress. And given that, it's not outrageous to think that if it's a family business, even if it's moderately desecrating to transport bones over multiple days instead of just burying them, she'll probably want to bury her kids herself in the family way, whatever that may be. And so that's kind of what Abigail is saying. Like, I would bury them if I were you, but we probably shouldn't, because someone that influential, if we piss them off, they're going to make life really hard for us. And we're not really in a position to have life be even harder than it already is.
Can I just say it's very fitting for Ataraxia to not know anything you just said?
I was gonna say, like, I think all of our scores are kind of on point here. Minus Cole's, but everybody else, like...
No, I really do.
So, like, I'm just saying Cole should know.
I'm looking around questioning, like, I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm also not...
Minus Onyx and Ataraxia, do I at least get anything being a 13?
No. She's a relatively secretive figure. You need to be, like, above... like
10 foot tall is not very secretive, God.
10 foot tall? What are you talking about?
I love that I got a 21, but I've never left work.
No, no one knows what Sundress looks like. She's a shadow figure that represents the Moonglow Trading Company. No one has ever seen her. The only reason you guys know her name is because you rolled so high. The average person wouldn't even... If you ask the average guy on the street who owns Moonglow, they would probably say something stupid like, I don't know, Mr. Moonglow? Tommy Moonglow? Like, they wouldn't know.
Calix is just gonna give a thumbs up and go, yeah, that's probably the smartest
that tracks.
thing. Okay, let's go.
That tracks.
Alright, so I'm gonna continue to carry biscuits and we're gonna get in the car and
I'm
go.
gonna agree and carry a gravy.
Let's go.
Okay,
Let's
so
get on this.
she goes, okay.
On your papoose.
Yeah, she goes, okay, we'll get out of here. Just give me like 2 seconds. And then she starts walking like back over here. And you could see she, the guy she beheaded, she like ruffles through his belongings and like pulls out nondescript things and kind of like puts them in a pouch. And then she kind of looks around at all the undead and she's like, oh damn, there's a lot more than I thought. Like, there's a lot of bodies, like to the point where they're blocking the road, because you gotta remember, like, these large bubbles that are 10 foot by 10 foot is like a 10 foot wide pile of corpse that's blocking the 10 foot wide to 15 foot wide in places path that she needs to get her cart through. And she's kind of looking around and she's like, ooh, I kind of forgot I did this.
Help move things while looting them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we loot some of these things? We're kind of piss poor.
You're asking the knight to
I would
loot.
agree to ask.
If she cares if we hold on for a little bit
Okay.
to loot.
Okay, so Cole walks over and asks the equivalent of a federal agent if he could steal, but like with permission. And she looks at
Hey,
you.
can you turn your back while we
Yeah,
do something?
and
for
she
like
looks
10
at you
minutes?
and she goes, "No, don't steal from the corpses." She goes,
Don't with like quotations.
She goes,
or...
"I need to collect evidence. Don't touch
We'll collect
anything.
too.
Don't touch anything until I tell you could touch it."
Do you
I
guys
wanna
have
go-
forensics?
Miss Grand Royal Knight Abigail, can I help start moving this warhorse skeleton out of the road?
Yeah. She looks at you. She's like, "You can move. Yeah, you can move like the bigger ones, like the horses, the ogres." She goes, "I need to try to find whoever these bodies were, so that I can notify the families that their relatives have been turned into undead and re-killed, and that their bodies have been desecrated."
See what they had.
Hey, Calyx, would you like me to take the papoose while you move the bodies?
Please do.
The kid just wakes up to an undead fucking horse skeleton in her face.
Literally.
Screams, passes out again. No, and then
Ah, shit. We
yeah.
started over.
and then
So
she
I now
yeah.
have child.
Yeah, and then she looks at Cole and she goes, "Yeah, sure. I appreciate the help. I got it. It'll only take me a couple minutes. If you want to help move the bigger stuff with your orc friend, I appreciate it. Do
Why
not
do you sound
touch."
sarcastic?
And do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
And she crouches down and looks you dead in the eye and goes, "'Cause I don't like you." And then looks
Oh,
back
that's
at me and
fair.
she goes, and then she immediately goes back to saying like, "I don't bullshit. You're suspicious. You're asking to loot dead people 6 seconds after seeing that I've killed them. I don't like that. Stop it."
I feel like it's been like 20 minutes.
This conversation has been a minute maybe, like since she came back.
She went down to go get risen and came back.
From when she didn't start talking to you. Like the conversation started when she cast the zone of truth. Like she was figuring out who you
I'm
were.
just saying when the dead bodies appeared.
No, that you didn't ask anything about this pile of dead bodies. You know nothing about the dead bodies.
Favors right now.
Yeah. And so from her perspective, you walked up to her and went, "Hey, can I rob these bodies of these desecrated corpses, officer?" And she went, "No." And you're like, "Well, what if I do this?" Like, and tried to insinuate that you could do it behind her back and she'd be cool with it. And she was like, "No." Like, stop fucking asking me.
I was asking if there's air quotes. I can't see.
Yeah. And she's like, no air quotes. Help your buddy or sit in the corner. Like, I got it. And then she systematically, over the course of 5 or so minutes, rifles through most of the humanoid bodies, pulls off little, like if they have like a little locket or a little ring, anything that could be considered moderately
Oh,
identifiable,
so you can loot them.
and then puts them in like a little evidence pouch bag, and then puts it on her belt, and then she goes through, and she starts like moving some of the smaller ones off of the path. And then at this point, like Calyx will have helped move the big ones. It's enough that you could traverse.
Hey, God.
Yes.
I don't actually want to do this, but I am curious for future endeavors. Let's say I rolled a good deception check. You think I can get it by her if I wanted to?
There was never a world where you could walk up to the ultra police and go, "Hey, can I break the law?" And then she go, "No," and you go, "But what if I don't break the law?"
No.
Wink, wink,
I
nudge,
just don't
nudge.
talk to her at all, and I
do
just start
that.
doing it.
Oh well, if
Ignore
you
it.
yeah, well then it would be like a stealth. I mean, that's a contested check. That's different.
Okay,
But you started talking to her, so she knew she saw you because you were like, "Hey," and then she was like, "You know, don't do that." And then because you said it, she was watching you.
I was just
It's
being
like
honest.
trying to shoot a sneak attack, but then announcing your presence before you do it.
It's exactly
Yeah.
like
Hey,
that.
I'd rather her not catch me doing it. I'm just saying.
Also, a very smart idea because had she caught you doing it, yeah, different things would have happened. Because again,
See, I kind of thought about it a little.
Because at
Just one
minimum,
intelligence
it would have been like, stop contaminating evidence. I'm gonna
Right.
detain you. At maximum, it would have been worse.
Okay. So I did the right thing, but I also bugged it.
I saw who rolled stealth.
I didn't mean to do that.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just checking what
I
my
just
stats
needed
were.
to know if you were doing something.
No, I'm not committing to
I'm not
anything.
allowed to loot the bodies, but you're gonna try.
She didn't go.
Cole has her distracted. Do it now.
well,
Convenient, she says she didn't want to try after she rolled a 7.
7.
With a 4 modifier.
But yeah, so she does that systematically, and then she's like and then imagine that I don't have a cart token. Imagine there's a cart like down at the bottom of the screen where the path is. You can all load up in the
Circle
cart.
is-
So we're like going
Oh,
south.
screams, can I get out of the corner?
The cart is parked on the. You could tell based on just your natural intelligence, she was coming up from the south in a cart, stopped in the cart, and there's an enormous battlefield 30 feet in front of the cart. So you put together that she was probably going down a path, got jumped by 80 guys, was like, I guess I gotta handle this, killed 79 of them, and then you showed up when she was about to kill the 80th. And then all of a sudden you started talking to her. So because she hasn't even had time to like look at the bodies. So that you kind of reconstruct with just without needing to roll that the ballpark of something like that has happened. And now she's probably going to get back on the cart, turn around, and then go back. Because she says she's from the capital.
Sounds good to
So
me.
I think I'm standing around when the cart's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's just on the southern side. It doesn't. I mean, it's there's no map for the cart, so it's just going to be us talking. But so
Also, I'm going back to Calyx to give him back the papoose.
okay.
Okay, I take
Calyx
the
has
papoose back.
so Calyx has the kid. Again.
I can only carry the papoose for so long.
Yeah.
I'm not that strong.
Okay, so you once you guys are all ready on the cart, she's like, okay, is everybody ready?
Ouch.
Is everybody ready
Yes.
to leave?
Oh, hang on. I was
Wait, where's
sitting in the
Cole?
corner. Sorry.
He's in the bottom right
I was
corner.
told to be in the corner!
Is this big enough, or does somebody have to sit on somebody's lap?
No, it's a cart. It's a big
I'll
enough
sit on
cart.
Onyx.
It could have probably fit like because she's gonna be
Oh,
on.
hold
The,
But
she's
okay.
gonna be on the front, like managing. There's like 2 war horses, and then she's gonna be on the
Can I
front
sit
seat.
next to her?
She takes up a lot of space, but you could probably squeeze in because you're pretty tiny.
I'm small.
Yeah, I'd say sure. I mean, you should probably ask her before you don't
Can
just
I sit
sit
next to you?
And she kind of like looks down at you, and she's like, "Why?"
I don't like not being able to see where we're going.
Fair enough, I guess. Don't get in my way or annoy my horses.
I'm small. I'll be small. I'll
That-
fix small things.
Okay. And then, but yeah, and then she goes, okay, then we are going to start our journey back to the capital. And then I go to the world map.
Guys, we covered so many maps in such little time. We're doing great.
We're doing
We're doing
so
better than
good.
the damn
Progress.
shackles.
Forward progress.
The damn shackles tied us up for 10 times longer.
Progress.
We're the chain
Progress.
breakers. What can I say?
Yeah, and then I don't know why that's like that. Then so you guys see there's no travel cutscene. So you zoom out, you're at the map now. You can see, I will assume by asking or looking at your surroundings, you can put together where you are. You're where this on the map where it says the party. That is your current location. You notice you're about a day's-ish south of Orange Bloom.
Are we coming from the
But I
hidden
thought
tumor on the
I
map?
thought we were heading to the capital after.
Wait,
I might be
where's the
misremembering.
Oh, I found the capital.
The capital is the
I
thing that
thought
says
you-
capital city.
Yeah. So
I'm
I
an
thought-
idiot, okay? We already established that.
I thought our goal was to
I
head
don't see the
towards the
capital.
capital because
Hey, Cole.
we want to speak
Yeah.
with the king guy.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you guys you could put together where you got abducted from, right?
Oh, okay.
Because the caravan, unless I'm misremembering from a month and a half ago, I believe I wrote the last line of all your backstories is that you all took a job with Moonglow to do a caravan
Oh, I checked
protection.
that.
I thought it
And
was
then-
from Orange
Check that
Bloom.
now.
Yes, that's
Either way,
correct.
you were about a day's distance from Orange Bloom.
Go
So
across to Riverton.
yeah, to River. Okay, so yeah, so you're going up to down. So then you're about a
Hey,
day
where's Clove
south.
Cross and where's Riverton?
Okay, it's Clove Cross River. So yeah, so you traveled for the day, got jumped in the night, got pulled a couple hours south into the mountains where there was apparently a cave, the entrance of which you don't know where it is because he stone sealed it off and you went out a new back way that got made. And then you can tell that you are about a day's travel from where you are now to, the checkpoint to get to the capital would be the fort. There's a fort at the edge of the bridge to cross the river to Riverton. And then you think it'll take the rest of the day at a moderate pace to get to the fort. So you have anything, we're going to fast forward here, and I'm going to say if there's anything anyone wants to do / discuss / ask about / anything over the next 6 to 8 hours, you're going to be on the back of the cart talking
Can
to
we
each
long
other.
rest during this?
No. because
We
because
haven't been awake long
you've been
enough.
awake an hour and a half. So no, it's not. It's like 10 a.m.
Hold
But
up,
the
hold
girl
up,
that
hold
goes
up.
to sleep.
I can nap after 20 minutes of being awake.
A
I
long
just
rest.
want to make
A long
that
rest
clear.
is 8 hours.
Long rest is a night's sleep.
Yeah, and
8 hours is not
A
a nap.
short
There's
rest is less
time.
than that.
Yeah.
you just said 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, of travel. You physically cannot sleep 8 hours after having just slept 8 hours. The game mechanics do not allow
I've done
it.
Okay,
I
well, the
really
whole
think
party,
you're
let's
underestimating.
say it like this.
Yeah.
Let's say it like this. The whole party has to agree to a long rest, and the
Yeah.
whole party doesn't agree to a long rest.
This is the point.
Let's be done with that
yeah,
conversation
this
and
is-
move on.
Yeah, this is the point where the DM says,
Somebody's
"Stop it."
upset.
The rules of the game say you can't do that, so you can't do that. Pick an excuse why. I don't care. The rules say no, so no.
Are
and-
rules.
Yeah.
Are
So
rules.
now you have 6 to 8
Rules
hours
are
of.
meant to be broken.
Yeah. You have 6 to 8 hours of what we
There's the
will
demon.
call downtime or travel time. You may now just say what you're going to
Just the
do.
ride.
If you're going to do something, speak to another person if you would like to speak to them. Do whatever.
Yeah,
You tell me when you're done, and then we will fast forward 8 hours and say that you arrive at the fort. No random encounter will happen because you are being escorted. So it's all you guys.
Wait, Sai's at the front. Can we reach her?
Yeah, the cart.
the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's just a cart, so it's like 10 to 15 foot long. What cart with like the little fabric over the top, like the U-shaped.
How the
fabric.
hell does a 10 to 15 foot cart fit a girl that's 10 feet tall?
Because it's
I'm
10
gonna
foot
ask-
long. It's 10 foot long, 10 foot wide, and it's like the big wooden cargo carts that you see in like Lord of the Rings that fits like 200 pounds of boxes and also 2 drivers and 6 soldiers. Like it's a old timey transportation cart.
I'm gonna head to the front of the cart and ask Sai quietly if she would like me to help her heal her wounds. And I would like to say that this is not something I'd normally do, but you did help us a lot back there. You tried to help us get out of the shackles, and I also feel like I can relate to what you've been through a little bit in your life because I'm a tiefling too, and life kind of sucks.
Are you like hanging off the side of the cart? Like, how is this working?
Yeah. So what it would be?
He just said we could talk and reach ya!
What it looks like what it looks like is basically, so the back of the cart, it's like I said, it's the fabric top cart with like the bamboo used on the top, so you could stand on it and still be under the cart. You're doing the equivalent of like you're pulling the curtains and like you poke your head out and they're just sitting there on one big long wide driver's area that has squished 2 people because one person is really, really big, one person is really, really small, and you're like poking your head out of the fabric and they're immediately like a foot or 2 in front of you. It's like how you would climb up to the front from inside, and then you whisper to Sai. Obviously, she notices you pop your head out. She doesn't care to listen. Not Sai, but to the
I don't
knight.
care.
Yeah, and then so that's what it looks like.
Well, fine,
You don't
fuck
have to
you
hang
then.
off it.
It's the modern.
I would-
It's the modern equivalent of Sai is sitting in the passenger seat of a car, and Onyx is leaning forward and going, "Hey, do you
Yep.
want me to heal you?"
That's exactly what it is.
Perfect. I just wanted to know what it looked like because in my head it was like he got off the cart and was walking beside it for some reason.
He's just pacing. God,
Yeah,
Sai,
he's just jogging.
Sai,
He's jogging.
can I
Struggling
heal
to
you?
keep up with 2 war horses.
Yeah. I would like to stress these are war horses, like, and they look almost, think fantasy Clydesdales, like they're very, very in size, they're very, very large. You assume they're
They
probably
have to be pulling
yeah.
a 10-foot tall
yeah.
lady.
I was gonna say you assume they're probably this is her specific cart. It's extra big. It has extra strong animals specifically
It's
for her.
Huge.
They're
Huge
huge.
cart, the biggest cart. You can't beat this cart.
I have the best horses.
My horses, they're so good. So good. The greatest.
And then I
The
told the
best
king,
horses.
I said, my horse is better than yours.
These horses, they don't
But
even
yeah.
need food.
So, Sai, do you take Onyx
What?
up on his offer?
Well, I turn and I look at Onyx and I kind of give him a smile and I'm like, I really appreciate that, but I think you should keep your healing for yourself or for a little bit later.
when you only
might
have
need
half
it.
health.
Listen.
You ungrateful.
Listen.
No, she's being pragmatic. It's
If you
fine.
really feel that way, I understand. I'm just trying to be helpful because I
No.
saw kind of what you went through, and I also know that we also need all of our strength going into a city like this, being who we are.
I really do appreciate that, but I don't want you wasting it on me.
Just so we're clear, it wouldn't be a waste, but I'll keep it for now and let me know if you need it.
Thank you.
Calix goes, you were in a pool of your own vomit. You might need some help.
To be fair,
Hey, she's not in the vomit anymore. She's clean. I'm just covered in blood.
You could tell.
I'm covered in blood.
You could tell as you as you guys are talking.
On,
Yeah. Oh, you go
on
first. You go
Onyx,
first.
Clean him up.
Yeah, you can. It's a free. You could just and you watch as like all
Okay.
the magic washes over him and it just instantly cleans him. But you can see the Abigail like smiling, like she's cracking a smirk at like the banter of like, well, you threw up. Well, you were covered in blood, and she's like, I don't know. You know, she doesn't know what happened in the dungeon. Like she wasn't there, but it's kind of refreshing to her in a sense of like, you know, for what they described, it sounds pretty fucked up. I'm at least glad to see they're in like a joking mood, like they're in half decent spirits, and she's happy to see that you're not all like fucking PTSD fucked. Like you're like these guys, they might do it.
There will be time for that.
Yeah, but at least as far as she's concerned right now, she's like these
Our
guys.
morality is not killed.
Yeah, she's like these guys aren't bad.
So I cast Prestidigitation and I clean him up, and I'm like, well, here, I can't speak right now.
Here.
Fair enough.
Ta-da.
So you let him stay covered in blood for the last like 45 minutes?
Okay, listen, a giant lady came walking toward us with a sword drawn. I didn't really have time to think about things properly.
You were on his back to get out of the damn dungeon. The blood staining your hands from you grabbing him wasn't enough. Hey, oh, maybe I should clean this?
You know what? I take it back. I make him dirty.
Yeah, I unprecedented.
I cast Prestidigitation and I make him dirty.
I
again.
didn't! Hold up! I didn't say anything! Why am I getting punished here?
Colleen falls and spits on him, does a huck to clean him up.
I cast it a third time and I clean him up again just to be spiteful, and then I turn back around.
I already took care of it, don't worry.
You know what?
With spit?
Hey, I want to be very. This is very funny. So I just read the spell again because I was like, I don't think you could do that. It does say you instantaneously
dang.
you instantaneously clean or soil an object. So you could just at will one every 6 seconds, dirty, clean, dirty, clean, dirty, clean.
So yeah, that is what I do. He's now clean, but I cast it three fucking
What did
times.
I do wrong here?
It wasn't you. It was based
You
on
caught a
principle
stray, you
what
caught a
everyone
stray.
else was saying.
You can't hear us, you guys were talking quiet.
Okay, well I look at
we're
Onyx
in a
and I
wooden
say,
cart.
Yeah, it's all
I
open.
look at Onyx.
You said we have how long of a communion time?
It's like 6 to 8 hours, but we'll assume that all the conversation you have is over
hours
the
of
course
this
of it.
nonsense.
Mm.
You don't have to role play 6 to 8 hours of talking.
Just to
I feel like we should at least have
I
some
tell-
conversations. There's no way
I
we just
tell
sit here for
Onyx-
6 to 8 hours in
Yeah.
silence.
What do you say? What'd you say, Brontes?
I'm thinking at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, because whenever you guys are
Don't
done,
worry, we'll
you
all
guys can
stop
just
talking.
say,
You think.
yeah, because
Okay.
No,
you
I was
guys
not
can just say
expecting you
like,
to
we go to
stop.
the fort.
Okay.
You're
well,
a
to
whore.
recap, Sai tells Onyx to keep it and then gives Onyx the clean. Here, sprinkle, sprinkle. I forgot I could do
The
that.
clean.
Sprinkle,
The
sprinkle.
clean.
Like clean.
Not, very different from the clap.
What's funny is that
Stop!
what's funny is that spell also says that I think you can make like a toy, like a fidget spinner, and you can just fucking play with a fidget spinner for 6 to 8 hours.
Do that.
Yeah,
I do
you
that.
create a non-magical trinket that can fit in your hand and that lasts till the end of your next turn. So every 6 seconds you're just spinning a fidget spinner or whatever.
Hey, Cole.
Can I do like a focus or something on the new the staff?
On Weavebreaker?
Yes.
Focus with what intention?
I think it means like meditate with it.
Whatever you'll let him do.
I'm actually doing the same exact thing right now. I was just thinking that I was gonna wait until
I kind of wanted to meditate with it.
Okay, roll Arcana for you, and I will say for Calyx.
Ooh,
I'll get to that in a
that's a
second.
1.
Shit.
I'll get to
I'm trying
that
to
in a
think.
second.
That's a nada.
That's a no-no.
I'd say just do a. What's better for you? Like a general charisma or like a wisdom?
General charisma and wisdom are the same.
Okay, I'd say of your choice then, you could try to be charismatic with the amber or try to connect your mind via wisdom.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and connect my mind via wisdom and just kind of probe, try to and be like, try and find out information like who it was, everything like that, because I remember that from my past.
Yeah.
Quote unquote past. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The second life you've lived.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, 14.
Like
okay.
I want to know like who I was, and think a little bit more on it.
Yeah. I will say for the 4 for Brontes, you attempt to like attune your magic to the staff and try to get like more of a feel of the specifics, and you get this like not a feeling of rejection but like a lack of clarity that you get the impression of like you're still very new to like the levels of power this staff holds, and it is intentionally withholding a very large amount of its power for your own sake, and as part of that it's also withholding a lot of its feelings and intentions. But what you do get, just because you made the attempt, is that you get like the words kind of echo in your head, a la Professor Oak when you try to ride the bike in the Poké Center, of like, I am a tool that is to be used in a very specific task, and you remember that that task that was given to you was the destruction of the corpse's hand, in whichever way, shape, or form it can be done. And so you get the feeling that like more of the staff will be unlocked as needed or as earned through your interactions with the corpse's hand, and as such that whoever the person that the Royal Grand Knight killed in front of you, you never, like, you don't know if that would have affected your mission because you never checked to see who that was or asked who that was or asked what was going on or like interacted with the body. So your mission is still like kind of where you're still kind of in the starting point, and the staff just is very confused and really just doesn't. It wants to point you somewhere, but it just can't with a 4. It's
Okay.
You're both very confused with each other. It's still a very new feeling.
Okay.
And then
It's like your first time.
yeah. And then Calyx, your wisdom of a 14, you don't get like another vision, but you do, as you start to think about it, some of the like more specific details of that life that you witnessed / lived kind of clarify, like nothing to the specific point of like names, but you get the idea that it was like this was probably a while ago, like a significant amount of time. You couldn't pin down specifically how, but a very long time. And you also get the idea of like the idea of protection took took so many different forms over the course of that fire giant's life or your life, that every single time it changed form, he always still came up short, either by his own luck or his wrong decision or outside forces, that the amber almost radiates a combination of like self-pity and self-hatred, and the idea of like every bad thing that happened to me is because of my failures, and this like overwhelming drive of not to wanting to learn from them, but having effectively run out of time. And then, importantly, as you kind of extend that feeling, you never get a feeling about the entity you spoke to, and it like you don't even get like an inkling, almost like that entity was a completely separate entity, and that like the amber is the specific thing, and whatever interaction with that entity you had, whatever his name was, whatever his objectives were, it's absent now. So you don't know how related it is specifically to you and to this amber, and that is a point of confusion for you as well.
So there was like no interaction in this past life that I lived where like the entity was there for even a brief moment because the entity called him a close friend.
Yeah.
So there was no interactions at all?
There was never a point where you as the giant ever saw anything that even remotely resembled the thing that you spoke to. Granted, you never asked the thing's name, so you don't know if maybe its name got mentioned and it was in a different form. Like, you know that there's creatures and spells that can transform a beast into a human. Like, you know that it's said that dragons can transform into people and walk amongst you, but you don't, like, if that guy's name was Thomas and you spoke to a Thomas in that guy's life, you wouldn't be able to put together that Thomas was that monster or that entity.
Got it. Okay.
At least not with a 14.
Hey, God.
What's up?
Ophis.
Yeah, he'll get it one day.
Poppy.
He won't.
I know.
I know.
So, knowing I have the least knowledge in this game,
Yeah.
I have a question. As far as my soul thing, would it does it benefit to meditate like they are to learn, or because I got to select my stuff? Like, do I need to in game learn it? Like,
No, you learned the capacities that you chose. The choice happened at the moment you attuned. It was like you.
Yeah.
It was like it's an inherent, like, taking.
Okay, it's
so
naturally.
you instantly learned the abilities of the ring as are written on your sheet right now, like the songbird and everything. The moment that you and the ring like came to your accord, and that you gave the right answers, and so you inherently know how to use it as per an attuned item. You also know that you had other options, but like it's difficult to recall. Like, you can't remember the wolf option. Like, you remember, you have a feeling that there were other options, and then you have a feeling that maybe you be able to pick another option if certain things happen, but it's very cloudy. It's like a dream.
So would like me meditating with it technically even attempt to help if I rolled like I'm?
You
or
can
just kind of is what it is.
You can always try. You just don't know what. You don't know what you as a character don't know what you'll get. That's up to the dice to tell me what to give you.
You can't metagame.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do I need to roll here to try to get more in tune with my
For you, it would be a wisdom.
wisdom?
Yeah, wisdom check. Yeah,
Shit.
Well,
Wait.
That was a save.
Wisdom check or save?
it's
Or
a save,
is
but
it-
I think his modifier is the same. It's still a +2, so it's a 7 either way.
Yeah.
You don't with a 7. You get like more of that inherent sense of like similar to the other items. Like the ring is withholding a large amount of power for the sake of your own sanity and body and not like hurting you. You know that like you have this inherent feeling that like if the ring just tried to dump every ability it had the potential to have, it would probably kill you or severely hurt you. And that's backed up by Abigail's comment of nation-ending power. You think that if you just all of a sudden got all the power, you might just explode. Like you don't know magic that well, but you know but you know enough that you're like that the ring has a lot to offer, and it's a sense of like the ring will offer you more when it feels you've earned it, and and you get the feeling that what you need to do to earn it is probably related to the conversations you had and your ultimate goals that you both agreed were satisfactory answers in your vision in regards to like your mother and finding her and discovering yourself and your newly rediscovered brother, yada yada yada. But with with a 7, you don't get anything like turbo specific. Like I can't point.
Yeah, I got you. I'm good.
I would
So
also
Addie-
like to. Sorry, Addie, you can go.
I was just gonna say Addie was also gonna try to meditate after realizing there's nobody to talk to and everybody else is already doing it. So, what else is there to do?
Okay, yeah. Yours would also be wisdom. It's psychological to try to attune to the.
Well, now I feel left out, so I want to do it after.
With a +2.
That's
You and Bronchi's both rolled a 1.
Yeah, that's a his and her crit fail.
Holy crap!
Okay,
I mean, technically, Bronte's also got a 1.
Yeah, it's a his
That's
and
what
her.
I'm saying. They both got a 1.
Oh, his and hers. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
And then
Damn.
and it took him a second.
Good job, Alex.
So with
Hey, at
you,
least your wisdom's up.
it's similar to Weavebreaker. Like because you rolled so low, it's like focusing on it is very wishy-washy, very indeterminate. If anything, you try to almost get like kind of like a headache, like because you're trying to mix feelings. Like there's these feelings of the crown and the elven boy you spoke to, and there's also like the visions flash of like that monster that was like kind of a part of him and the terror of it and how it ingrained itself on its soul, and it kind of fucks with your head of like you don't like thinking about how disgusting that thing is. But then also like every now and then like the similarities of his past and yours mix, and it kind of like not pisses you off, but it gives you this sense of like you remembered something that kind of ruined your mood. Like when you're sleeping, you're going to bed at night, you're staring at the ceiling, you can't go to sleep, and you're just thinking of all the mistakes you've made in life, and it gives you that like, oh fuck feeling of this is gonna be the next 2 hours, and it kind of coalesces into this like really annoying migraine, and you really don't get anything.
Now I regret it.
Yeah. And then I assume, because I heard Sai and Onyx start to talk, are you both also communing?
Onyx, you go.
Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say I would like to meditate specifically through Amal.
Yeah.
The entities I've made deals with.
Okay.
What's it?
For you, it's straight charisma.
Straight charisma.
Charisma check. 21.
Woo!
Okay, and when you do this, what specifically is your objective? Because there are 2 entities, technically. And you know that you were told that one of them is currently busy. Are you attempting to disturb her anyway?
My goal is to talk with the most recent entity,
Okay.
But I wasn't sure if the other one was going to interject.
No. With a 21, as you feel like you backtrack your connection along the pommel, and like it doesn't trigger, like you don't teleport to hell again. It's not anything that grandiose. You see, it seems like that's the kind of thing that only happens when they decide that it happens. It's not really something they check in with you. It just kind of does. You can't walk back through the door, so to speak. But you do get the feeling of like a mental connection, not necessarily a conversation, because you could tell like the entity is occupied doing several things. But you get the feeling that you can think on certain aspects for a brief period of time and get glints back in a sort of pseudo conversation. I'll say you can ask 3 vague questions. I will give you 3 vague answers.
Can I, above board, ask what you mean by vague?
I mean, don't go, hey, what's the next thing I'm supposed to do? Like, don't, because I'm not going to tell you. But if you're like, if you were like, oh, I'm so sorry, I might have offended you with what I last did. I want to explain he's my brother. Like if you wanted to kind of like apologize or grovel, you could do that. But don't be like, what is the next mission statement? Like, don't be like, what is my mission, man?
Okay, so I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay. First thing I want to do is I want to apologize for my earlier ignorance and explain that Cole is my brother, and I was just trying to explain that I was going to need help from him because he will do whatever I ask of him without asking me any questions. And I want to apologize for my ignorance of not understanding the entirety of what the secret was.
Okay. And then in back, you get this vague feeling of like, it's not like a quote or a dialogue, but it's this understanding of you weren't the first mortal to make like a misinterpretation of a deal. You certainly won't be the last. And to a certain degree, she kind of hopes that you aren't, because that makes her job very easy. But she is understanding in the fact that you were doing it in an attempt to make future requests easier to complete, which is ultimately for the betterment of the family. And as such, she, like, in a sense, accepts your apology, and also is this sense of, like, I could have been a little less harsh. I was a little upset. I didn't fully grasp it. But not so much to say that she is saying sorry, but this sense of, like, meeting you in the middle of, like, I understand you, you understand me. Let's just go from here now knowing where we are. Like, that's the vibe you get.
My next question is, going forward, what is the name that I can address you at?
You don't get a name specifically, because you know that just from your research when you first found that book, for when you first started learning about devils and how devil deals work and stuff, you know that the true name of a devil is always kept extremely secret. Like,
that's why I said, what can I call you?
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. So I was like, so she doesn't tell you a word that could be associated as a name. She sends you a vision of, like, a hellish storm. like a rainstorm, but it's raining fire, and
Hellfire.
in the middle of a hellfire hurricane, and also there's tornadoes, and the only feeling you can get is the word tempest. But you are certain that that is not her given name. That is the name, a sort of feeling, the feeling of a tempest, of rage, but also destruction.
Well, I'm thinking of my last question.
Yeah.
Can Sai go
Sai can
and
go.
then I can go back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Sai, did you want to do something specific?
I was just gonna take it out and kind of like look at it forlornly.
The orb or the potion?
The orb.
Okay, so you could look at it all day long. It looks exactly the way you remember, where it turns like that. It turned that once it took that little bit of your blood, the claw lost its rainbow aesthetic appearance and it turned bronze, like solid bronze metal with high grades of detail. And the orb is still full of that roiling black cloud thunderstorm that is never the same pattern twice, like a snow globe that never ends and is always continuing. And it just continues to roil and move. And as you move your hand around it, almost like one of those magneto balls with the lightning, the lightning bolts sometimes will come up and like touch your fingers, and then like not to hurt you, but you can feel the energy, and then it goes back to roiling.
Sure, I'll try. I'll roll or whatever.
Try to commune with. Okay, it's a charisma, straight charisma.
Oh boy.
Okay, 15. Okay. What is your objective specifically? Like, what are you trying to get?
I guess I'm really just like looking for, not like specifically answers, but like a feeling of maybe what I'm supposed to do next. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
You don't get necessarily like a mission or a task, but you feel like the essence of the voice you spoke, because you never saw what could really be described as like the face of the thing you talked to. It just looked like you, an extension of you to a degree, and it was very wispy, and the voice really wasn't specific either. It was almost like an amalgamation of things as opposed to a creature, and it ignored your request for a specific name as well, so you don't know what that means either, whether it's trying to withhold it or it doesn't have one or doesn't know it or doesn't remember it. But you get this innate feeling of like you were accepted by the orb and the spirits within it, because you are draconic in nature, but also that you're learning to embrace it. Like, you're a fresh dragon. He called you a wormling, a baby dragon. Yeah. But you get the feeling that the more you pursue your draconic nature and whatever that entails, the more you develop those abilities, and you strengthen your mental state about being a dragon and learning to come to grips with your desires and that little bit of greed that you sometimes exhibit, and that little bit of like when you had the sapphire gem and you just kind of didn't want to let it go because you just liked holding such a valuable item. Once you come to term with it and you make that part of yourself, the more you do that, the more the orb will be able to resonate with the more draconic essences of your soul, and the closer you will grow to the orb, for better or for worse, you don't know. But that is kind of the vibe you get in terms of a direction.
Okay.
A mission of almost self-fulfillment as opposed to external fulfillment.
Right. I end my turn.
Okay,
I said two
I got my
monsters,
last question. I got my last question.
Go for it. Hey, yo, bro, what cup size are you?
What?
No, stupid joke. Don't worry about it.
I think I heard what you said.
Yeah, I know what I said.
I thought it was funny.
You saw the yeah, listen.
I hope you know what you said.
You saw the concept art. It's in the Discord.
Okay. My last question is, to what extent of details can I share specifically and only with my brother Cole, not blood brother, to ensure future mission successes?
I have to think about that one, because that is a little specific. but I see what you're going for, and I want to give it to you. And you rolled really high.
That's the only reason we're playing this game right now.
I know. I will say the vibe you get back, like you don't get like a bulleted list of specific criteria that you can reference, but the idea that you get is like you can probably tell him about the sword and its abilities and what the sword, not necessarily what the sword represents, like anything within the conversation that she had is technically secret, but you get the feeling that she'll let it slide if you're like, hey, don't ask any specific questions. I really think we should break into this place and steal this magic item. Like, you can recruit assistance in the mission, but you can't go, hey, party, or hey, Cole, Tempest just told me we gotta steal the ring of whatever, let's go do it. Like, if you say it like that, or if you say like, oh, Glacia's number 2, Glacia's capo really wants this thing, we should go get it. Like, anything like that, big no-no. But anything where it's like, it would be logical to assume that you've left out enough detail, you've left in just enough detail to make it so that you're not going to create infighting, right? Because, like, she obviously wouldn't want you to do something that made the other 5 people in the party attack you or hate you, right? But
right, because that would be detrimental.
Yeah, and that would ultimately hurt Glacia's goals, because she explained to you Glacia's goals, which were also part of the secret. She explained to you that Glacia wants a chosen, but she's not allowed to have one. So she has, in a sense, made you a pseudo chosen on the DL, and that's gotta stay on the DL. So, like, you don't think it would be illegal per the contract for you to tell someone, like, yeah, me and Glacia have a pact, because that's not in itself exclusive to people know that devils make deals. That's why tieflings exist. It's known existence that's what happens. But anything more specific, like, oh, I'm doing this for Glacia, Glacia wants me to kill this general, or Glacia's number 2, like anything that breaks down the hierarchy of the mission or hyper specific.
Basically anything involving the actual naming of the underworld.
Yeah, you can't. The most important thing you get, you cannot, under any circumstances, allow anyone to know the level of your connection to either Tempest or Glacia and any mission they might give you. The furthest you can go to anyone, pretty much, is knowing that you have a connection to a devil, which is not in itself that crazy in this world. But more than that, you're pushing it, especially if you start using keywords like chosen, like Tempest, like Glacia, like then you're rolling dice. It's risky, and it comes down to interpretation, which be my interpretation. Very clear about this because I don't want it to come off unfair in 6 months.
If I have any questions, I will ask you, because I probably will.
Yeah, and that's why, like,
I can't stop shit.
That's why I didn't outright kill you an hour ago. I was like, I'm setting a tone that I'm gonna be an asshole about this, because that is the way it works.
That's the nature of it.
That's the nature. It's a high risk, very high reward. Anyone looking at, from a numbers perspective, anyone who looks at your magic item, you have one of the best magic items of the 6 right now. That doesn't come for free. That comes with caveats. And now you know the caveats.
Magic item of the 6?
One of, arguably. In terms of, like,
we all have one of the best. There's
Yeah.
That's why I was confused.
You all have, according to the Grand Knight, you all have continent, nation-destroying magic items. So they're all pretty strong, obviously, even at their weakest form. But as far as everyone's items right now, she specifically told you she was going to juice it. But that was also part of the secret. But, like, you don't think you can. Yeah. So it's all connected. So you get about that.
Got it. Yeah. Definitely gonna.
Because I want to give you a lot because you got a 21, but I also don't want to just blow my load on it because there's a lot of game left.
No. I feel like you were very fair with what you gave, and you answered exactly how I expected you to answer.
Hoped you'd answer.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of how you physically answer, I didn't expect a specific answer.
Yeah. It's no fun if I just give you a bulleted list of missions. Then it's just chores.
Well, I mean, if I got a physical hit list, I mean, I would love.
Well, you don't have
to go a little ranty.
I could just.
We see what happens. We see what happens.
Oh no.
But yeah, so that is everyone has pretty much done visions. Is there any other conversations that want to happen?
Who farted?
Well, you're in a room with one other person.
Cole out of the cart.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm 100%
I didn't realize he meant in game.
There's only two.
There's only two
here,
people
just so we're
there
clear. There's only two of us here.
that you know about. I walk out from the
great.
bathroom holding my laptop. Hey, guy.
You
Or
thought
should we-
this was
know what?
illusion.
You know, that would be fucking weird considering the bathroom door is open. I'm staring at it.
Close it and then
I'll
open
tell
it.
you,
Maybe we
guys
should
so
stop
small.
here
Close it
because,
and then
like,
open it again.
well,
Watch what happens.
I feel like we'll forget the introduction of the fort if we get it now. You know what I mean?
Fair
That's a
enough,
good
yeah.
way to get the ball rolling on the next session.
Okay, yeah. In that case, if you guys want to just in-character bullshit for 15 more minutes, go for it. I don't mind. You want me to start describing trees that you pass? Like, there's not much I could do, but it's up to you guys.
I spy with my little eyes something green.
Is it the
Tree.
grass?
No, it's a leaf, you dumbass!
Damn.
That was
That's
really
why my
bad.
intelligence
Hard.
is 0.
Yeah, because, like, this is a good opportunity, too, if you guys want to, like, knowing that you guys are probably going to be going into battle and stuff, if you guys want to strategize for battle, if you guys want to...
Hold up. I have a better idea. We should probably talk about what the fuck we're gonna call ourselves to the king.
That's
Oh, we
also
came up with-
something. You should come up with a name. That is probably going to be needed at
Well,
some
I would
point.
rather it like come out naturally than like trying to
Double
like.
D's!
No!
And that right there is why we're not gonna let it just come out naturally.
I mean, what about like the Star Defenders? I
Hey,
don't
listen,
know.
it doesn't come out naturally. That's how kids born.
You weren't born naturally.
C-section, baby.
Happy
Literally.
removal day.
Happy eviction day.
What is a C-section?
Whoa. No way. No way.
You don't know what a C-section is?
I'm
No,
talking
Calyx
to
doesn't know what a
Oh.
C-section is.
I just want to
I-
make a
That's
statement.
why I didn't say the name.
what a C-section is.
Get Calyx, roll medicine.
Yeah.
No.
I just want to make a statement that when Cole was born, the doctor literally told our parents, or his parents,
His head is off the charts.
Is this an
that's
actual
why he
conversation
could not
we're
be
having in
that's why he
character?
could not be
No.
born naturally and had to be C-section.
Quoted.
Quoted.
His head was off the charts.
Dude, those wacky human empire doctors, they don't know what they're doing.
What do you mean by head was off the charts? Calyx just looks more and more confused.
They had to make
every
new
passing
charts.
minute.
That's a great question. And
Hold
that's
your-
all we know.
What the hell is the thing called? The poop pay?
We have
Whatever.
a head chart.
Meanwhile, Ataraxia is literally rubbing her temples right
Yeah.
now.
That
Sai
migraine
just
is starting
rolled
to
up.
resonate both with the people around you and also the crown.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump. Cole's gonna jump back to game talk.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fair
Hey,
enough.
hey, Calyx. What made you run away from your own people?
Why are you here?
Sai's like intense.
Yeah, you fucking greenskin. What are you doing here?
Questions, damn.
I just
No,
got-
remember. Hey, I was enslaved by your
I
people.
know.
I want to know why you're good.
This seems like a lot to unpack in the
Yeah.
back of a cart on the way to the kingdom after we all.
We
just
have
spent,
hours
like,
to kill, man.
You met each
Yeah,
other an
made out.
hour ago. You're like, hey, you want to tell me why you're one of the good ones? Like, what the
Tell me your
fuck does that
tragic
mean?
backstory.
Why
to
should we
end right
trust
now.
you?
Why should we trust you then?
Why should we
have
trust you?
I stare him dead in the eye and I'm like, we have quite literally just trauma bonded and we almost just died together. That's
So we almost trauma bond, and I ask you, why are you separate? Why do you not like your people? Because I want to get to know you, because I do like you, but you have to understand my hesitancy.
I don't understand your hesitance. What's wrong with orcs?
I was enslaved by them. I'm pretty sure I've said that multiple times.
I kind of turned aside. I'm like, did he say that multiple
He
times?
said it.
I
He
don't
said
know.
it. Session 1 when his mic was all stupid before you bought the real mic. So you honestly might have just genuinely not heard it.
I'm gonna have to also no offense to you, big guy. I think you're great. You've been great so far, but we should
I'm confused.
I also have some hesitancy as well. I'm
really get to know.
really
Yeah.
backing up Cole here.
Me and
I will
Onyx were
say-
enslaved by your people.
I will say to Calyx, by the way, your character would remember this. It's pretty well known both in the Human Empire and the Orc Empire. There was the most recent border conflict. It was like not officially a full-fledged war, but it was a pretty significant skirmish about 20-ish years ago. You don't remember the exact timeline, where there was a large contingent of orc clans that had made like a pseudo-unified faction with the objective of crossing into human territory, raiding settlements, killing as many as they can, and then abducting slaves to work in mines to boost their weapons production, to prep for larger scale war. The human empire quelled this fairly quickly once they found out and freed everyone who was still left alive. But it's expected that there are hundreds of captured and thousands of dead, and that's the reason why the King's Shield fort that is there was built 20-something years ago. It was such a monumental, like, border clash. Border policy got changed, and they made the biggest fort on the continent on the Orcs' doorstep so that they could never pull that shit again. You would remember that from the Orc perspective.
100% hold that from all the context clues and my backstory.
Yeah.
100%. But before I get into telling the story, I'm going to kind of look towards Ataraxia and Brontes, and I'm like, do you guys... Like, just kind of gauge their reaction to see if they agree with the rest of the party or not. Like, on their distrust of orcs, I guess. I'm trying to figure out...
How racist are you guys?
Yes, exactly.
Like, in a good way or a bad way?
Like, there's one thing to be, like, kind of skittish around orcs. It's another thing to be, like, outwardly questioning, like, hey, are you one of the good ones?
Why are you outing me right now? Why do you think I'm skittish around orcs? Huh?
To be fair,
I
Sai
said
seems like she's pretty skittish about everything.
I heard Sai.
No, it's Ataraxia. He said Ataraxia and Brontes.
I don't trust you any less than I trust everybody else here.
Calix, I'd like you to stop diverting. I'm trying to be straightforward here.
No, I'm doing insight right now.
This is insight, yeah,
I'm
it's
checking
not
to see if
vocal.
everybody's like...
He's reading faces.
I'm trying to read the room.
I'm getting frustrated.
He's trying to read the room.
He's just kind of looking around like...
Yeah. It's an insight takes the course of like a second. Like, it's not like he's sitting there for a minute staring at people's faces. He's just quickly gleaning.
He's just taking a look around the room to see if everybody's against him right now.
Yeah.
But I think if we're gonna force this big guy over here to give us his reasons, I think each of us need to share also.
Yeah. Also, I will say, Brontes, you can... Brontes, you can say your thing as well.
Huh?
That's it, because he was looking for your reaction as well.
Yeah.
Like, what's your opinion of orcs?
I have no quarrel with them as of now, and especially since you've given me no reason to distrust you.
Okay.
Bronte's very meritocratic.
Yeah, he's
Wizard,
very
you know?
Switzerland right now. But so I'm gonna kind of look at Cole, who is kind of like the main speaker, and I'm go. So as you know, the Orc Kingdom of War is a war-torn country.
I'm aware.
Yeah, I'm sure you're aware based on what you said. You were enslaved by them. About the time when I'm guessing the King's Shield came to fruition, when that whole fort was built at the edge of the Orc Kingdom, correct?
Out then, that's where my name came from. Is from you.
That your name came from us?
From being enslaved. My name is Cole. To you, my name is Cole to you guys. There's a reason. That's all I grew up to remember for the most part.
I'm sorry
His
for
actual
how
name is Noel.
Noel?
Yes. But everybody
Why
called
the
him...
fuck would you tell them that?
You have to do big name drop.
everybody
Big
called
name
him-
drop.
Everybody
Wait.
called him Cole.
You knew
but you
that.
just said
No
his
one
name
else
was
did.
Noel.
Yeah, because of
No
your
one knew
people.
me besides being Cole because I was locked in the mines. And my brother here was supposed to keep his mouth shut.
So your real name is Noel?
I'd prefer if you kept calling me Cole. That's what I've grown up.
I have no problem
Because
calling
of
you
the
whatever
orcs.
you
Okay, cool.
desire. But my family was also one torn apart by the orc during the what we like to call the Blood War. All the orcs vie for the lead tribe at this point. So the Orc Kingdom right now, I believe, is called Bloody Axe, which is the current leading tribe who has stood above all the others. My tribe was massacred by them, probably similar to how your families have been enslaved or killed by them. It's an endless war vying for the top, to be the apex tribe, so to speak. I'm one of the last of my tribe at this point, and I just want to put an end to this blood war at this point. If it takes uniting all the kingdoms and toppling over that government in order to do so just to fight the Star Scourge, then I see no problem with it as long as we can stop this needless bloodshed, needless enslavement, needless killing of the innocent. There have been too many lives lost at this point.
I agree. Too much bloodshed on everyone's hands. I wanted you to understand why my hesitancy is towards you. I do like you. I'm on the border of trusting you. You've shown us nothing but good here. But you gotta understand where I'm coming from, and that's why Onyx is super defensive with me.
Cole?
You hurt us, not you, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a lot to get over.
I just want the bloodshed and the suffering and the torture to stop.
So we have a common goal.
I kind of thought we already had a common goal, you know, based on all the stuff that just happened in the dungeon, but go off.
All right, side.
Just saying, just calling it like I see it.
You can't see it. You're in the front.
I'm literally peeking in through the curtain.
Can you reach?
What are you, an owl?
Yes. I'm like standing on the edge, like peeking in, like a little.
On your tippy toes.
Yes.
Scratching to let me in.
Abigail is holding the hem of your shirt. That way, if you hit like a bump, you don't just fucking fall off.
You don't go flying.
My girl. I don't say that in character.
She also
Jokingly,
yeah, she also notably, like, because only
Yes, queen.
only Sai would see this. As soon as discussions of the blood war and like the conflict at the border and like Cole being one of the prisoners and also Onyx, like her face has like a laser focused, like, not like Vietnam, like you don't get the feeling she was there, but she has this incredible sternness as she's like, you could tell she's remembering the events, and at least what she was taught of the events, and she's viewing them with like a lack of brevity. Like she is very, like, just having to remember that time in the human empire's history has not tanked her mood, but has like refocused her, like a sense of aggression. She does not love that time period, it would seem. You don't know how old she is. Nobody ever asked.
I'm the only one who's.
Yeah, and only you see it. Only Sai sees that.
Okay.
Calix, I gotta be honest with you. I have my own problems. My family wasn't enslaved, but I grew up knowing Cole. And
Bro, that's the end.
What?
I'm sorry. The way that you said that made it seem like all your problems stemmed from growing up knowing Cole. That's why I laughed.
Listen, we're not talking. Listen,
implication.
we're not outside a game here.
hold on.
I'm sorry. Continue.
But we share the same hesitancy, and I did see that you could be better than others, considering you didn't try to kill us in the first instant, and you also helped us. So I do trust you, but it's going to take us some time to 100% trust you.
Isn't that?
But
the
I hope
case for
we can work
everyone?
it out.
There's a
I
little
hope we can
easier.
work it out
It's a
as
little
well.
easier to trust those who haven't taken everything away from you.
I
And the
don't
fact
really-
that you're willing to help us, and the fact that you're willing to do this, I'm willing to
And
work
defy
with
your
you
people.
to work past my own biases.
You're showing me there's still good in your king in your people.
But
There's
it's
good
gonna take
everywhere. We're doing our
Yeah,
best not to let
it's going to take some time here.
Doesn't it take time to trust anybody?
Damn
Yes.
right.
Take all the time you need. Sounds like we're gonna be together for the next couple months anyway.
Speaking of which, what are we calling this group?
Double T.
I'm not having this conversation right now.
Well, you're in the front, so you're not involved.
Group walks into the
Turn around.
Capitol, walks up in front of the
Sai
king.
is just as involved as
We
the rest of
cannot
us.
walk up to the king and not have a damn name.
You're
Real
I
quick,
mean,
time out.
we have-
Above board. Does anybody remember what we talked about here?
We're hammered.
It was we
I
came
don't
up with a
remember us
decent
coming
two
up
of
with
them.
anything that was worth actually
No.
saying.
We came up with like
Or-
two of them we
No.
kind of agreed on.
Three of us agree.
no.
You're not incorrect.
You're
but
not
I-
entirely wrong.
Your Honor, we're the bare minimum. Title card.
No.
Oh, I like
I
it.
We cannot let God come up with our damn name.
I like it though.
Just enough.
Stop. Just sit down and stop.
Focus.
Just
No,
enough.
I refuse.
Sai is
I
so
think
done
this
with
should
your
be a
shit.
discussion over the next 8 hours in a text chat outside of the
Yeah.
game.
I've also just
I
been
don't mind
told
if
that
you
I'm not
discuss.
Cole
involved in this
tells
group.
Onyx to reach forward and shut the curtain so Sai can't keep saying no.
The
Yeah,
curtains
I
aren't
go back
soundproof.
and I start talking to Abby because I'm interested.
And what does she say?
I'm not gonna tell you anything.
Well, you see her look at you,
We
and she,
can all
gives
hear.
you like a raised eyebrow at the as the conversation shifts from something really really heavy to what is in her opinion something kind of dumb of like, what do we call ourselves? What is our little merry band of adventurers? And she's giving you like a raised eyebrow of like, whatever you pick, there's no takebacks. Like, make sure you like it, because once you tell the king a name, the king's not gonna forget it. So you better be confident. But she doesn't say that. She just gives like a smirk.
Yeah,
First impressions are very important in this game and in
don't.
real life.
And we're bringing a girl on a kangaroo pouch.
You don't have to take the child to the king. You could put her at the fucking orphanage or something. Like, you could. You're going point.
Damn,
Well,
like
so
a
we have to
hospital
heal her and all this
I
extra
believe
shit.
You could give her to a hospital and go fix
Yeet!
this woman, and then leave. What are they gonna do?
Bro, fun.
What are they gonna do?
Zach,
Tap
bro,
you?
fun.
How about the
How many-
Scourgeon 6?
Huh?
The Scourgeon 6.
The fuck does that mean?
There's 6
For
of
the
us.
party
Scourgeon
name! There's 6 of us.
How does
The
If I can
Scourgeon
count to
six.
6, the fuck does Scourgeon mean?
The Scourge 6, whatever. The Star Scourge?
No, that
The
sounds like
Scourge
we're
of
the
the
bad guys.
Scourge.
Sai goes to sleep.
This is why you're not in the back with the cool kids.
Yeah.
The Scourge of the Star Scourge?
Yeah, I think the kids are just
The Scourge of the Scourge.
they're breaking away.
Dude, just
from
shorten
the
it.
main
Just
point.
shorten it. You guys are the SS.
Shit out of luck.
That's SOL.
This is gonna be a long 8-hour ride.
We're the soul. SOL.
We're the soul.
I
Just-
kind of like
We're
that.
the soul.
The king
Baby.
the king just has his head in his hands. These are the 6. These guys.
You can audibly hear the palm slap.
Yeah. I can hear his Majesty's pulse rising from here. Like, just like, oh my god.
His
We're all gonna die.
diabetes is hitting him. He's gonna fall.
But yeah, I do not mind if you guys
Get
want
him
to.
the Snickers!
If you guys want to, in a group chat, come up with a name. You don't really need the name until you meet the king. So you got.
Which
time.
I'm guessing is
Happened
next
for a while.
session.
We didn't even get to Fort Lord.
Yeah, you didn't
yet.
get to the fort.
Maybe
So
we're getting to a city.
Oh, wait, hold up. I thought we were getting to the city now.
no. So
Oh.
it's
No,
6
we
to
haven't
8
stopped
to
the
get to the
Lords.
fort. Even put in scale. Even put a scale. Like, you could take the arrow, draw the arrow on the scale for amount of miles, and then like draw the arrow and calculate how much time it's gonna take. It's gonna take like 2 days to get to the capital. You're obviously gonna have to take a
Oh,
break.
so we're stopping at the fort, and then we're gonna fuck shit up in the
Yeah.
fort.
Well, it would
and
be
then we're
about
gonna fuck shit up in the
Or-
capital.
It would be about
Rest at the
sundown.
fort.
You're gonna show up at the fort at about 5 to 6 p.m. like end of day, and then if you could probably attempt to, Abigail could probably swing you lodging in the fort, rest at the fort, and then it'll probably be half a day's ish travel to the capital. You'll get there like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and she says she could fast travel you to the king, so you could probably see the king in 2 in-game days.
So I have a name.
Assuming nothing goes wrong.
Assuming, yeah, you don't all rocks fall, everyone dies. Like, so long as that doesn't happen, you're good.
As long as Sai doesn't die.
I'm
or-
assuming
I will not die by a fucking rock.
you almost
I'm
died
writing
to
that down.
nothing. Oh, sorry, diabetes.
God, don't
Who's
you
to say the
dare!
fort isn't under siege right now by one of the 7
Wait,
We
so,
don't know what's
guys-
gonna happen.
I have a name idea.
Got it.
I'm sure it's gonna be shot down real quick because it's a double D. But anyway, delusional defeaters. Everyone thinks we're
that's a little
delusional
too
for trying this.
delusional and does not inspire.
Well, everyone
courage.
doesn't really know we exist right now, so I'm gonna have to say no to that one too.
I would
But
have gone
especially
with,
when we plead
yeah.
our case, everyone thinks that we're delusional for this mission.
I would have gone
once
with
we get there.
delusional defenders for what it's worth.
It's double D. I'll take it.
It's only double D's you'll have.
Yeah. Also, yeah, my opinion
You
means
get
fucking
nothing.
nothing. So
Yeah, you're right.
Anyways, to be
So I was
revisited in the
interested
group
in this
chat.
conversation
say,
when it
Yeah,
pertained
so-
to like
Yeah.
talking about
So
character
we're
backstories, but now,
tabling
Yeah, let's
the
table
party
that.
discussion to
We'll put a pin in
the
it.
group chat.
yeah.
I'm just glad I learned Cole's real name after like 6 sessions. I thought it was gonna
Yeah,
take
no one was
at least
supposed to
Yeah.
know
Probably
that.
gonna take way longer.
Tell me that. My
thought that
brother's
was
an
gonna be like-
idiot.
traumatic backstory.
That's why I
TM.
have
10
a
intelligence.
hero. I also blew a secret tonight.
Cole forgot his own name too. Right.
Yeah, Onyx had to remind Cole of his name.
But he still wasn't supposed to say it.
As the party continues down the path, accompanied by the Royal Grand Knight that they've so eloquently introduced themselves to, something has happened, we're ignoring that. And as they continue down the path, they approach a large structure that they know is Ford Fingers, named after, of course, the splits of the river where it is stationed, one of the predominant forts in the Empire, and one that they all traveled through at some point in their journeys to get in and out of the center part of the Empire. Though now, they enter with a new sense of pride and invigoration, knowing that they pass through these doors not travelers, but heroes, defenders of everyone who exists and ever will exist in their now given and accepted mission to defend the world from the Starscourge invasion. No one knows what lies beyond those doors, but one thing is for certain. They still probably won't have a name by the end of the session.
Oh no.